1. Fabulous. Hi everybody. Oh, I need to change it up here as well. I forgot. It's not perfect, but it does help. Hi everybody. As you can see, we're in the same room this time.
Yes, we are.
We finally done it. We're in the same studio space for some of these live streams. It's gonna be incredible. Oh well, good to see you. Thank you so much for the beer fund. Don't worry, we're gonna go over what we're drinking in just a little bit and have a good little time with everybody. It's gonna be very fun. You ordered some takeout, got some stuff for cocktails, ready for a nice evening. Nice. That's what I'm talking about, my dude. That's what I'm talking about. Let us know if you can. Let us know if you can hear us. Okay, if we need to modify anything, let me know. I can always fix stuff on the fly. Should be okay though. Botrix, fantastic. He's here to do something. Chaos, good to see you. Welcome back. Ellie, welcome.
Hi, Ellie.
And there's our mummy, who we got a burger for, so she's having a great time. Burger's great, boy, she said. Fantastic. We love that. Nothing else we're missing. Oh, it's changed on there again. Stupid thing. All messages. There we go. You can hear us great. Awesome. Good. And chat box is working. It always takes like a minute for the chat box to start working on the screen. It's freaking ridiculous. The sound is good. Awesome. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. So, and don't worry, we have a cool green screen effect and everything is gonna take over when we're ready to watch. But we need to we need to casually get into this, right? Because we got ourselves some pizza because we kept getting jealous of you guys. All right, always having pizza, and we're like, the fuck, we like never think about this. And Owo was kind enough to also provide us with some wonderful beer fund money. So
thank you, OO.
So yet again, thank you, OO. We will definitely go through some of the stuff that we've got. I need to change the chat box setting apparently because it keeps fading, and I'd like to keep it on for this one. Boo boo, quick chick. There we go. All right, that'll kick in now. Cats and you are hyped, Chaos. Fantastic. Oh, thank you. So, satisfying sound of a beer can opening. For those of you who aren't based in European countries, tall beer cans are fantastic. They're always a good call because bottles are not always available. So I'm starting off this stream with one of my personal favorites, Brewdog Hazy Jane. I am a hazy beer lover. IPAs are also quite good, but hazy beer or a Belgian beer, I'm all over that shit. It's definitely my favorite way to kind of start this. So,
and meanwhile, I'm starting with a Schifferhofer. It is a Hefeweizen beer, grapefruit. It's grapefruit flavored beer. It just Nathan recommended it, so I decided I'd give it a try.
It makes me think of a shandy, but grapefruit. Really nice, really tasty.
Yeah, it does taste nice.
It's better colder.
I've got a pepperoni pizza.
And he has a pepperoni pizza, and I've got a chicken mushroom and garlic because I'm a basic ass bitch, but I know what I like. Grapefruit is tasty, my dude. Grapefruit in a beer. But the best part about Schafferhofer is like, I'm sure you especially know, whenever you buy a beer and it's like, oh, it's got grapefruit flavor or whatever, and it doesn't really taste like it. It's got like the little hint of it, but it's still full on beer. Schafferhofer's not that because it's got proper like grapefruit juice in it. Like it's really nice. It just kind of it makes it a weaker beer, more like a session drinking beer, but it's nicer in my opinion. It sounds amazing. It's Schafferhofer is it's a fantastic beer. Perfect for summer, especially when it gets nice and hot. You have some cold ones in the fridge. Oh, dude, that's the fucking stuff right there. It's I lived off that for like 3 years. I fucking love it. It's so good. Oh, it was on a peri peri chicken wings and a cocktail from Coldberry Tea, gin and rosemary. Oh,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty freaking good, my dude. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I do like me a good gin and tonic, so I'll tell you what, that sounds all right to me. With the rosemary as well, hell yeah. So, season 3, Marble Hornets. We have to get into this. We have to get into this. So, are you able to give us a quick recap from where season 3 started to where we are now?
I can try. Also, Ellie's just ordered a barbecue chicken and mushroom pizza. That sounds like Ellie.
That sounds good too. Hell yeah.
Right, so, look, Nathan just asked me to do the season 3 recap, so I won't bother with the seasons 1 and 2.
No, we did that last time, so.
I've done plenty of that.
Yeah. It's just my chair, don't worry, it makes noises.
Oh, God. So,
cheese balls from the container like a goblin. You are a goblin. But you know what? I get it. That's a thing. That people do that, I don't, but people do. I think Jordan would have done that.
Probably, yeah. The cheese balls are nice. So, So, Alex is a bad guy. We know that now. He's a murderous person. He's the Slender Man has been infecting like everybody in this little friend circle. Alex has been taking it the worst in that he's just doing the Slender Man's bidding. It's killing people. That's bad. Uh, Jay, our narrator, has met up with Tim, who's the real protagonist here. Uh, God, I wasn't actually prepared to just recap season 3.
That's okay. You do great. You do great. It's just so I can still mime stuff because I think people like that.
He's met up with Tim. Tim, who wears a mask all the time. I guess we're both miming that. Tim, well, he doesn't wear a mask all the time.
When he's
particularly
influenced.
When he's particularly influenced by the Slenderman.
Is that the term we want to go with? Is there a better proxy is the term, right?
Yeah, but like there's technicality. I think influence works fine.
Yeah, because I feel like he's not a full on proxy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think influence is the correct term because it's just not a full. I think Alex is a full proxy, right? Whereas Tim is influence. I suppose Masky as well. Like a number of them are influenced, but Alex is like he's like the top dog when it comes to influence levels.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can.
It's okay. So Tim wears a mask some of the time, but when he's not wearing the mask, he doesn't remember anything that he had done when he wore the mask. And from his perspective, he's just waking up months later with no memory and often with a broken leg, and often getting fired from his job because he hasn't showed up for a few months. And so Tim is struggling with this. And in comes Jay to try to pester Tim and try to Jay approached this a really weird way where he didn't come up front with Tim. He was trying to pretend that he was just here to finish Alex's old movie, Marble Hornets. But that he got tapes off of Tim, which showed us a bit more of what happened in 2006. It showed us a bit more context. It showed us that Tim was aware of these abandoned buildings, and he is the one who turned Alex onto them. But towards the end of shooting Marble Hornets, Alex was already far gone, and he was already taking his friends to these abandoned places to knock them out and leave them to die, or leave them to the operator, the Slender Man. So that happened. God, let me turn into Joss Whedon now. Jay wanted to know more about these abandoned places. He kind of tricked him into showing him these abandoned places, and that we've found that the Man in the Hood is still a thing. That's to the arc. He's still.
I wasn't ready for the hood one. I'm sorry.
It's too hot to do that.
No, that's why I'm not wearing it. You don't do the mind though.
The Man in the Hood is still a thing. He's trying to cryptically pull either Jay or Tim away and lead them into something. But anyway, but he hasn't been doing a very good job at that. He kind of failed in his goals. But Tim did figure out something was up with Jay, and Tim looked up Marble Hornets. He looked up on the internet, looked up on YouTube. Oh, this YouTube channel, Marble Hornets. And holy shit, Jay was not telling the truth. He's actually digging into all these freaky things that have been happening to me that are relevant to me. And he freaked out, punched Jay, just told him to stay out of his life, and Jay had to go investigating on his own. Jay goes back to the abandoned hospital, goes through this little crawl space, finds these documents that To the Ark had left behind. Probably for one of these two to find. And these documents are medical documents. It's a bunch of reports of Tim's medical history. When he was a child, he was often admitted to these hospitals before they were abandoned. And to deal with some sort of a mysterious mental illness that may or may not have a lot to do with what's going on here. And but then we're coming up to the present now, and To the Ark takes matters into his own hands. He breaks into Tim's house or apartment or bedroom, whatever, steals his pills, and just watches as Tim has a seizure and reverts back into being the masked man. And then Tim goes off. It's one of the medical documents said that whenever Tim would often run off as a kid, but he would always be found at Rosswood Park. And so To the Ark posted this video of, like, Tim turning back into the Masked Man, and To the Ark had this little text like, where could he possibly have gone? Like, this is your only chance to meet up with him and to make things right. He didn't say exactly that. So Jay's like, oh, okay, I've got to go to Rosswood Park. I've got to find Tim. Got to speak to him. Got to get him on my side. Got to save him from this mask headspace. And that's where we were.
So one of the medical documents said that when he was younger, he was always, typically found at Rosswood Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I didn't quite catch on to that. Because for me, I mean, we obviously had the discussions about whether Tim maybe was influenced by the Slenderman even while he was younger. Maybe that's why he had this condition going on. And that kind of solidifies it because Rosswood Park seems to be quite relevant when it comes to Slenderman.
Yeah. Slenderman seems very connected to trees in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it's not confirmation, but it's just a weird coincidence, if not, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh. So the plan today is we got up to entry 61 last time, so we'll be starting on entry 62 today. The plan is to get to about 67, 68, one of those two, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for some reason the 60s are long entries. So it'll take us about the same amount of time, like an hour and 10 minutes. That's without pausing to discuss.
Which we will.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to go ahead and do something fancy here. You ready for this? Because, as you notice, we have a green screen in the background. Now, it works with the right lighting conditions. This room does not have such things. But that's not the only thing I have to give us a fancy space. If you bear with me, I've got it just here. Ready for this? Boom! Amazing. Oh, look at that. So clean, isn't it? So clean and good. Do you think we should be above it, or do you think we should be in the corner? Or do you want me to cut it in the middle and have us separate? That would look weird, right? We shouldn't do that.
Oh no, I'm an internet browser.
I feel like in the middle kind of works.
Yeah, it works.
It's all right.
Maybe you can just move the web browser window down.
Well, so when it full screens, it does move down slightly.
Okay.
Because it's just a little obnoxious.
Also, I've got to point out, there's a message that's held for review from OL.
That's okay. Yeah. If it's OL, I'll allow it. He's a good guy. I like him. Let me close some of these other windows so they don't keep popping up. There we go. That's what we're trying to do. Because if I do that, and then we go back to that, it's still a little cut off. I can shrink it a little bit more. But then it kind of goes, we should be okay. We shouldn't, I don't think it'll be anything important up here.
No.
I think it'll be all right. I'll tell you what, we'll still chat with everybody because I'm probably going to end up opening another beer in just a minute.
Yeah, I want to get some pizza.
There we go. It's just so we can still chat with everybody. So, we made it to entry 62.
Yep.
That's correct, yeah. And I think you said we're making it to 67.5 or 68 today?
Yeah. Because like 67.5 would be a fine place to stop. 68 would also be a fine place to stop.
Right, okay. We'll see how we're feeling when we're closer to that point. Because it's obviously going to depend. For those of you who aren't aware, which a couple of people I'm sure watching this, Marble Hornets gets longer the longer it goes on. The entries are longer. If you even see on the screen here, I mean, you start hitting like 11 minutes, 14 minutes. That's why it sounds like we're not going very far. But in reality, it's the same length.
Yeah, we are covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's a lot of ground, exactly. Okay.
So shall we get started?
I think so. Right. So while we're watching, we do have to mute just in case any extra sound gets picked up. But don't worry, we will obviously do discussions and stuff, and you'll see our reaction. But otherwise, let's have some fun, guys. Hell yeah!
Tim! 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 What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
I don't know. I just woke up in there.
Where are we?
I think we're still in Rosswood. But not a part that I've ever been in. Wait! My camera was just in front of me. I woke up.
Still working?
Yeah, but battery's almost dead.
'Cause I also forgot that I do narration whenever it comes on, so that's gonna complicate things. I didn't remember if there was narration or not. But,
I mean, we can leave the microphone on. I
No,
imagine people will tell us if there's a problem.
yeah. I'm nearly done with the pizza. Like when I am, then I'm good.
Okay. So that was an interesting little entry because I don't want to say a lot happened. I'm sorry.
Hi,
But-
lazy.
But it's strange, right? It's not exactly a filler, but it was, Jay at night, kind of feels like a paranormal investigator kind of a video, runs into Tim, Masky Boy, he drags him away, and Hoodie's convenient there as well, as, they're basically always together, those two, which is an interesting little connection now, but I don't feel like they were always that way. And then they just wake up in an abandoned shack, quite all normal and stuff. So it makes you wonder what happened, right?
Well, I can't answer what happened in the interim. I don't know. A number of points is To the Ark and Masky getting along was technically foreshadowed in season 1 because we would see Masky in some of the To the Ark.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then that did continue in season 2. Like we would see the two of them working together in season 2. So it's been more consistent than not. But it is. In some ways, it's a bit of a filler entry, but there's an important story thing going on, which is before this, Tim didn't want anything to do with Jay. He wanted, he also, by implication, didn't want anything to do with this investigation or with with dealing with Alex or looking into Jessica, who's gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to move on with his life. But To the Ark forced his hand, and To the Ark brought the two of them together, and then presumably they were both unconscious for a while. Because even when Tim's wearing the mask, he's still not in his conscious state of mind. So
yeah, he's almost like a different person, you would say.
Like he's leveling the playing field. To the Ark is bringing the two of them onto a more mutual level. So that Tim can realize, you're not actually doing this all by choice. Like you're actually being driven by something, and like maybe I should just work together with you.
Yeah, I don't feel like Tim quite felt that way when he became normal Tim. Yet again, I feel like that will obviously evolve and change over time. But, it definitely looks like he wasn't happy to see Jay also knocked out, abandoned in Rosswood Park, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't jumping to cooperate with Jay, but he wasn't mad at him. He wasn't trying to avoid him.
No, of course. Well, I mean, I guess he was... Could you say he wasn't trying to avoid him? Because he left awful quick.
Oh, that seems like what Tim's like. That's his characterization for Tim.
I suppose that's true. He's still not as rude as Alex.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
I think that what it boils down to it's when at the end Tim outright asks what's on that camera. And he has to in a rather curious way. Is he believes Jay that Jay didn't bring the camera on purpose, or well, he did he brought the camera to the nighttime thing, but he didn't remember any of that when he woke up. Like he believed that Jay's on the same level with him, and he wasn't rejecting the camera. He was saying like,
no, he was,
what's on it?
Yeah, exactly. What was on it if it was still rolling and stuff. That's true. That's true.
And so I did jump the gun a little bit because this will become more of a thing next following entries. But the seeds are sown here.
It does make you wonder a little bit more if Tim has some level of recollection of what happens when he's masking, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like at first he doesn't. Like they're completely different things, but clearly he must be aware that he goes into some sort of a state and he loses a lot of time, but things still happen. It's not like he's just unconscious the entire time.
Yeah.
I think he is aware that something happens. He just may not know the full details, but I don't know. It does feel like he knows some information that happens.
I think that like for a lot of season 3 so far, when Tim's just been a regular guy, but when he's been rejecting the investigation, rejecting Jay, he's been saying essentially like, I'm aware that something happens when I black out, but I don't want to know. Whereas now he's kind of changing his mind, like, but plus like he's watched Marble Hornets now. He's seen the entries of himself in the mask.
That's true.
Yep.
If anything, you're exactly right. I didn't even think of that. The fact that he's seen what he becomes, so he definitely knows for sure this is what happens to him whenever he goes in that state. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah, and he he reacted to that violently. He punched Jay because he didn't want to know what this stuff. He didn't want to know what he did when he would black out. But and I think that one of the things that To the Arc is trying to do here is will bring Jay and Tim together. Like make Tim face up to make him more curious about what he's been doing.
But I also think he's bringing them together because they might be the only ones together who could stop Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't know if Slenderman could be stopped. That's obviously an arguable point, but inevitably you have to at least stop Alex, right?
Yeah.
And one of them can't do it because otherwise Tim would have probably done it ages ago. But now that there's two in there, because I feel like Hoodie doesn't really do conflict, right?
No.
Yeah. So he's just bringing together the pieces that will ultimately solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good way to think about it. How's everybody doing out there? How we doing? Let's check the chat. Lazy, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Sometimes saying the battery's almost dead definitely gave away what's about to happen. Yeah, right. That's precisely the reason chose it. To the Arc, the ultimate matchmaker. Oh. I'll describe it as reluctance or dread. Chaos says, yeah, but he was oddly friendly. I'd have told him to heck off at this point. Yeah, you're quite right. Oh, reluctance. Yeah, maybe resigned. Acceptance. Same lol, especially such a vulnerable moment. Hoodie's more of a GM herding his players towards a dungeon. Yeah. Or towards whatever the ultimate plot of the story is going to be, right? You know, because it might not just be one dungeon. In some cases, like I've played a number of different Dungeons & Dragons games, and even the ones that I'm in right now, you can tell we're ultimately trying to figure out whatever the big story problem is that we're trying to inevitably get to, which obviously, like, one of the best campaigns at the moment where it's all over giant maps. There's all kinds of different factions in play, and it's insanity. It's incredible. But it's so easy to also be like, what the fuck are we supposed to be doing? You know? So you're quite right. Sometimes they do have to hurt them and be like, hey, this is where you need to go now. This is what needs to happen. You don't think that, but trust me, this is what needs to happen. So, that's a great way to think about it.
And to that point, this is going to be a bit of a weird, vague statement, but I'm just sit with it. So
I'll sit with it.
Like, To the Arc wants, like, there's two ultimate story goals here that To the Arc is bringing them to. One of them is Alex. The other one is the Arc. We don't know what the Arc is, but cards on the table here. The comic tells us what the Arc is. The series doesn't. But
there's an arc?
Yeah, To the Arc.
Well, I thought that was just kind of a cutesy name, right? Or like an enigma type.
Well,
I didn't know there was an actual point to the name.
It's a name for something, and we do actually,
I suppose.
we do actually see it in the series, but it's not named in the series. The comic puts a name to a face, more or less. But so, like, To the Arc is doing things that aren't even clear in the series, because that also goes to another point. Where, like, To the Arc was trying to he wrote "Follow me" on the walls, and he walked past Jay and Tim because he wanted one of them to follow him. But they didn't follow him. Like To the Ark wants to do things, but isn't very good at doing them.
Yeah.
And that is also like that's connected to why we don't directly see what the Ark is in this, because To the Ark's goals are kind of just his own little goals.
Even though we might have an idea what those goals are, we truly don't know. You got a good point. So Owo asks, wait, there's a comic?
Yeah. There's several years after the series finished, there has been a 5-issue, well, I guess 6-issue. It's like a 3.5, a 6-issue comic, of which we have issues 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and 4. We've got all of them except for the last one so far. The last one's still going to come. It's written by Troy Wagner, who plays Jay, and also is the main editor and director of Marble Hornets. And it's illustrated by, I cannot remember her name right now, but I think Jackie Reynolds. But there's somebody who's not been involved in the series. But it's good comic art. It's about it's an epilogue comic, so I'm not going to actually talk about what it's about. But it's best read after watching the series, and it puts names to things that we didn't know, and it clears up some things. It has some new stories going on.
Where's the comic available? Is it online?
Grandpoco.com.
Online. Okay.
Yeah, online.
Well, if that's if the people want us to potentially narrate that comic, we can do that.
I own all the issues, well, digitally anyway.
We could do that. We could do that. That'd be really fun. Interesting. And then we've got Shadow Awesome Superfan Lucy. You've got to shorten your name. That is so long. Cutesy is crazy. I'm incredibly lost by your statement as well. What part is cutesy? I mean, I'm just curious, you know? I'm not trying to judge. I ain't like that, but I'm curious what part cutesy is correct. I'm just curious what you're talking about. It says, well, that's my weekend sorted. Chaos. Huge mood, though. Quite right. Low persuasion rolls. 100% in this. 100%. But that's what makes it great, right? When things don't go very well, it just adds more conflict and problems. It's great. Lazy. I do remember this. I always thought To the Ark was just a cool, cryptic-sounding name and forgot that it's a statement. Yeah. I had no idea that it was a statement. So if anything, I've learned something else as well here. That's great. That's cool. You call To the Ark a cutesy name. Oh. I see. I called it cutesy. I mean, yeah, just because yet again, I thought it was just somebody trying to be like an edgelord online, right? So somebody trying to be hardcore and cool, and in a way, it's kind of cutesy because it's like it's they're playing, aren't they? Obviously, I didn't know that it wasn't just a name.
I should also bring up. There's been, I think, 2 To the Ark entries so far that have outright said that. Like there's one in season 1 where it's like, "You will lead me to the Ark." It's said it in one of the videos.
I didn't know that was actually. I thought that was just a cryptic, weird message, but okay.
And then in season 2, there's a rather outright like, "Jay will lead me to the Ark."
Oh. Okay, so the fact that it's said more than once, yeah, that does lead a lot more credence to the fact that it's not just a name. That's that's great. Well, now I'm so much more invested in, because I thought he was just a guy fucking around, right? Or yet again, somebody who was influenced and like we're talking about, a dungeon master, if you will, trying to push the players in the right direction. But the fact that there could be a lot more going on even there, that's really fucking cool. I like knowing that there's more to something than you're aware. I think that's so fucking cool.
And like it's fair to suggest that when they started the series, To the Ark was just a cute name, but they turned it into something. They came up with an answer.
Yeah, I think that's genius. Even if yet again, if it was a second thought and they inevitably came up with something with it at the end, that worked out great. Let's see, comic narration series mayhaps. I think it could happen. I think it absolutely could happen. Chaos says, is physical difficult to get a hold of like the plushies?
No. They're still for sale right now. I mean, I don't know the full details, and I can't speak for Troy, but I don't know him. But
if Troy does weirdly somehow end up watching this, hey, we'd love to have you on sometime.
I would love that. I'm a big fan of Troy, and all the stuff he's done since then. He made other horror series.
Or Tim.
But Tim would also be.
Even Alex, I'll take any of them.
Let's Joseph.
Sorry, Joseph. We'll take any of you, honestly. Brian? Let's get Brian on. That'd be great.
But the website that handles the physical comics also handles the DVDs, and the DVDs are like they come out. They're produced. So I imagine that the comics are probably produced on demand. But you can also get them signed if you want.
That's amazing.
I've been thinking of getting the physical ones, but I'll get around to it.
So we have to shout out Katniss Strange for the $10 super chat. Holy shit!
Thank you, Katniss.
Katniss, that's amazing. Thank you so much. That's going to go towards our next week's beer fund. That's fantastic. That is super nice of you. Was there anything you wanted to say to us, or anything that we need to shout out for you, or a question or anything? If you do, if you think of anything, just let us know, because I'm giving you that power because of this donation. I need to turn off notifications. I always get notifications for like, you wouldn't believe how many emails I get whenever I'm streaming and recording, and the amount of times I get phone calls. I'm like, why now? Why is it not ever earlier when like I'm available and stuff? It's ridiculous. Let's see. Shadow says not judging. Thank goodness. Good, because I've learned from my mistakes. It's not a cutesy name. I still think it is a cutesy name, but that's just me. Lazy says, I guess statement isn't really accurate. It's more like a thought. Even Botrix is doing his job. Good job, Botrix. That was nice. Katniss says, love this channel. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's what we're here for. We're here to entertain. I don't want to say educate. That doesn't feel like the right word either. Definitely entertain and have a good time with everybody in a mostly chill environment, where we can also have healthy discussions and watch weird shit together. I think it's great. I think it's great fun. This is really great. So I'm really glad you enjoy it. OO and Lazy all thanking Katniss. That's amazing. Even Shadow, W Katniss in the chat. That's amazing. No worries. Good to know. It's your opinion, bud. I agree with the opinion. Good. I think there's nothing wrong with the fact of the name. I mean, yet again, like we even just said, the name could have started off as a cutesy little enigma, and then it turns out that they decided to do something with it. Either way, whether it was fully thought out or a secondary thought, it's allowed them to do more with it, and I think it's great that there's more going on. I think it's really cool. I really enjoy that. Right, I'm gonna grab my next beer, because this one I was kind of looking forward to trying. I haven't tried it before, but I do like Brew York because I'm a little biased. I love York, so I can't help it. Even though I don't love all their beers, I gotta be honest. But this one took me by surprise just because of the name. It's called Juice Forsyth, which, for those of you who don't know, that's a play on Bruce Forsyth, who was a great actor. But it's a fruited IPA, 5%. It's got guava and mango tropical fruit. Explosion is what it says. I will be the judge of that, though. So yet again, thank you. Well, this one's for you. It's definitely an explosion of something. It gets better as it goes on, though. But at first, that was weird. Like they all tried to hit you at once, and it was strange. But like the aftertaste is nice. Try that. Let me see if I don't think I'm crazy. The flavors all try to hit you at once, and it doesn't work at first. But then it gets nicer as the aftertaste hits. It's strange, right? It's not just me.
Like the first sip, it just tastes like alcohol. But then there's like these hints of fruit at the end.
Not weirdly blended in the right way. Just kind of like this. They're like, oh, here's a bit of that. Here's a bit of that. Here's a bit. It's like, what the fuck is this? So explosion is I would say the right word for that. But I thought it was worth trying, especially included in the deal. So I'm sure I still like it anyway. Thank you yet again, Owen. That's great. Oh, guava and mango sounds delicious. I'll let you know if it gets better as it goes on. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I'm always willing to try stuff. And yet again, the name alone sold me. So, schmancy. Thank you. You loved beer at the age of like 11. You loved it. You still love it to this day, Shadow. Drink responsibly. Okay? We're doing it because we've been paid to. And also, I do enjoy drinking. But not like a lot. Okay? 11 is a bit young. Alright? I think that's allowed in like Japan. Don't go crazy. Alright? Just concerned about you. 11 is young. I'm just very concerned. That's all. That's all. As long as you're okay, then that's good. That took him somewhere. Started drinking beer at a young age. Yeah, you sure did, didn't you? Excuse me. Yes, 11. You started drinking beer. Yeah, beer at 11 is strange. I mean, to be fair, Uncle Tony gave me a beer when I don't remember. I might have been 11 or 12. and I didn't like it. But to be fair, I think it was like Foster's or something. It wasn't great for a first beer. And also, I shouldn't say it was my first beer because obviously I had my first one at 18. But, you know, yeah, I just remember not liking beer at that point until, obviously, I got older. And that's just me. Enjoy a good chocolatey dark beer, but other than that, you're not much of a beer drinker. A shame for a Northie from the UK. That is strange. That is strange. But a chocolatey dark beer, yeah, like a good stout or something. I totally know what you mean. It was root beer. Oh, it was root beer. I see. You're making jokes, Shadow. I see. That's very funny. Lazy. Me at 29, still not really liking alcohol. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with even never drinking alcohol. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. No shame, no issues. I totally get it. You know, it's yet another thing that can be destructive. It can be expensive, and the flavors can be weird. There's a lot of things about it that people don't like. So no hatred, no shame, no issues with that. I totally respect that decision. It's the same with like smoking and stuff. You know, not everybody does it. Nothing wrong with that. God, I'm rambling on, but there's so many chat messages. I feel like we're trying to catch up. Chaos. My dumb self drank the first time like at 8, but it was a one and done for a long time. I get that. Yeah, I totally get that. Oh, it says I prefer cocktails and fruity drinks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be like a good cocktail. I totally get that. You like ciders and some beers and a good shot of Bailey's in your hot chocolate. Lazy. You and me, my dude. You and me. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Bailey's in hot chocolate or in like coffee. Dude, it's fucking stuff right there. Bailey's hot chocolate is peak lazy with some marshmallows. So good. Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, we're never gonna continue if we keep going on. We will leave the microphone on though, so you can hear us with our comments because I do have occasional comments.
I want there's a certain way I want to do this so
Okay.
I can eat the rest of my pizza, but I'd rather eat it with the
But we can mute.
Isolation and the next entry unmuted because there'll be narration. But
Okay.
64, I think, is what's next.
We should be okay.
64 will be long enough that
it does cut out certain noises, so you should be okay. It tries to pick up more on vocals and speaking. So if people outside are speaking, it might pick that up. But if we're not speaking, it might pick it up. So you should be okay.
Okay, but I think we can mute it during 64 at least.
Okay.
But not yet.
All right, let's jump back in. Isolation to the Ark.
Who is he?
You might have to speak up. That we might not hear you.
Who is he?
Oh, okay, that might be too much.
Who are you?
Who are you? It's like an old man just lost in confused.
Where is he?
Where is it?
Meet again soon.
So my guess is this is obviously hinting at what's just happened and where they are and how they're isolated. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, where is Alex, basically? Like,
Oh, where is Alex?
so we haven't seen Alex in a while.
That's true. That's true. But I feel like it's because they haven't really been.
Yeah, also, there's going to be a final frame on this.
I'm so. Oh, God.
It's a Slenderman.
Hang on. Ah. We can do it frame by frame.
This is not the most comfortable chair to sit on for a while.
Ooh.
Ow.
Follows all.
Oh, I didn't even see that. It follows all.
Follows all. And then that. Good call, man. Good call. But he looks like a cultist in this frame. He did, didn't he?
Entry 63.
Entry 63. Let's go!
Get out of there okay, and I appreciate your help. I really do, but I'm good to walk from here.
You gonna walk from here?
Yeah.
That's like miles.
Wouldn't be the first time.
What, so you're just gonna walk away like nothing happened? You don't think you need any help
I got
after
my
all
own
that?
problems I gotta deal with right now, okay? First of all, I gotta go to my doctor's office and
Why not have
explain
him
to
drop
him
you
why
off
I
then?
called him up last night like it was some kind of big emergency and then just didn't show up. So, if you'll at least let me deal with that, then we can figure out where it is we're going from here. But until then, just go back to wherever it is you hold up and just try not to say anything about this to anybody, alright?
Okay. How long do you think it'll be?
I got your number.
Love you.
Alex said the same thing.
Ellie's got pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza Club.
It's been a few weeks, but Tim finally called me yesterday, wanting to meet up again downtown.
The number you have dialed is disconnected. Please hang up and try.
I think he was trying to call Jessica.
Or Alice. Hard to say, isn't it? Yeah. But Jessica makes sense.
I wasn't going to call Tim. He's right there.
Okay. There's a fair point.
So we really couldn't have met during the day. We gotta get under a street light, make it all dramatic.
Sorry, I just got off work. I've been working all day.
What took you so long? Took you weeks to go see your doctor?
Well, in between constant doctor's visits and trying to keep my job, I've been trying to figure out what kind of steps we need to take next.
Steps we need to take.
Yeah.
What would those be?
We could start by giving my medical records back.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. That's why I have them.
You know, I'm really glad you decided to listen to me whenever I told you to leave me out of this.
I didn't know those were gonna be down there in that tunnel. Someone obviously took them from you and left them there for me to find. At least I'm giving them back
You
to
couldn't
you.
have kept them to yourself?
Sorry.
Whatever, they're out there now and there's not a whole lot I can do about it, and I guess I got bigger things to worry about than the whole world knowing what kind of medicine I'm allergic to.
Yeah, they did help me find you when you ran off into the woods that night too, don't forget.
Oh yeah? How'd that go?
Could have been a lot worse. What do you think?
I guess just sitting around arguing isn't going to get us anywhere. We need to figure out some kind of a plan, otherwise we're just going to keep running in circles like you've been doing for months.
I haven't been running in circles.
Well, you don't seem like you've had much of a plan.
I've got a plan.
And what is that?
Well, at first it was to find you, and now that I've done that, I need to find out what happened to Jessica.
Do you have any idea how long it's been since you've seen Jessica?
A while.
It's been 1.5 years.
I know.
That's a long time. Do
I
you know where
know.
she is? Do you know if she's even still
I
alive?
just want to find out what happened to her. Maybe it can help us if I do,
Okay,
whether
yeah,
she's
yeah, I
alive or
get
dead.
that.
It's
That's
kind of
great,
my
but
fault
we got a
that
bigger
she was in
problem
this mess
deal
in the
with
first
right now.
place.
There's somebody out there that is an immediate threat to both of us.
Someone who's probably watching us right now that you mention it.
Probably. They know where I live. We need to deal with this right now, and if we can do that, then sure, I'll help you find Jessica. Whatever it is I gotta do. Deal?
Yeah. If it'll get you to help me, fine.
I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
Guess not. Well, what's your plan? What do you want to do?
Well, right now the only lead we have is Rosswood, so we're gonna have to go back there sometime soon.
No.
In the daytime this time.
I've been there in the daytime. Nothing good ever happens when I'm there.
Is that Rosswood or is that you?
Either way, you shouldn't go at all, and you definitely shouldn't go by yourself.
Well, yeah, I kind of figured that out. I've seen what happens whenever you try to go by yourself. That's why I'm trying to get you to go with me.
All right. Been there plenty of times already. What's one more?
Unless you got any better ideas. This doesn't just affect you anymore. This concerns both of us, and we need to figure out what to do. Otherwise, one of us could end up dead.
Okay, yeah. When do you want to go?
I have to see what my work schedule's like, but hopefully sometime this week. I can give you a call whenever I know for sure, I guess.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I really don't want to be out here in the open, so if there's nothing else you want to talk about, we should probably go.
Guess not. Thanks for giving these back, I guess. For all the good that does.
Okay, yeah, I'll see you there.
Give a sec to chat. This entry's good because the noise is always just. It was the same in York. God, York would be constant with people noises outside. It's crazy. Sorry. Let me get back on track. What I like about this entry is it's a secret meetup, which is fully recorded and uploaded online for everybody to see, telling what their plan is going to be. So even if they don't have to be viewed that very moment, it's going to be seen what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. That is
Very funny.
That is Jay's fatal flaw, I guess.
Yes. The fact, I mean, it's great that he does that because obviously, yet again, it allows the audience to be in the loop of what's going on and the mystery and everything. But as we've learned, the fact that Tim obviously has the capability of YouTube and watching it, then that means anybody else in that universe can also just watch his channel and see what's going on. So you don't even have to spy on them at all. You can just watch the channel and find out, oh, I know they're going to go do this next week. Well, I know where I need to be and what I need to do. Oh, then they wonder how the art keeps fucking track of them.
Yeah.
Because it's sorry, that's just semantics, but just funny, right? It's just really funny in my opinion. Bro, he posts his medical records online. How are you gonna get all huffy offended like that? I mean, that's true. That's true. Jay can't really be angry. That's very true. He did kind of put Tim on blast in more ways than one. Even all his medical problems and his alter ego. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And yet, Tim is still so beloved.
Yeah.
So, I suppose Tim feels like he's going to be hated and people are going to, think he's disgusting and stuff. But in reality, it turns out, no, everybody's actually like, we fucking love this dude. He's awesome, even as a masky. He's great. And yet most people are like, Jay is good, but, man, bit stupid sometimes, isn't he? It's so funny. He's a born jester, must entertain the masses. Very true. This is all just a PSA about keeping your information private online. Well, that's why a lot of it was redacted, right? Even though obviously fake medical documents, but still. You just redact everything and you could put it all online, right? That's what Cyber's can do for a guy. Protect yourself online. Grow out sideburns. There we go. I needed to get that out. Sorry. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Intro 64.
No narration.
You have the camera on?
Yeah.
And it's recording, right?
If blinking red light means recording, then yeah.
Okay.
It is the shirt. Lumberjack shirt.
Alright, this is it. This is where Alex took us.
You haven't seen him at all since this happened, right?
Nope. I'm guessing you don't remember being here.
Can't say I do. Wasn't exactly in the right state of mind at the time.
So you don't remember anything while you're like
No.
that?
Still can't decide if that's a good thing or not. Do you remember anything about this?
No, not other than what was on the camera.
So,
Jessica and I were right there. Alex was right here at the top of the stairs.
I came at him from behind here.
And you came from behind.
He was right here, holding back. And
Yeah, we ran out after that. And then we heard the gunshot right as we were getting out, too. So it would have been around here, I'm guessing. But I don't see...
obviously I didn't get shot, otherwise I would kind of remember that.
Yeah, I don't see any blood stains or anything right here on the wood. Any
So even if
bullet
there were, I don't
holes.
know if they'd still be here, because this was, what, year and a half ago?
I don't even remember anymore. Something like that. I don't see any bullet holes in the walls or on the floor.
Could that be it right there? You think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's what it looks like. I mean, I'm no expert, but it looks like it would line up from here. So I'm guessing Alex didn't get shot either. It just went through the roof. All right, let's get going.
think of anything else up here that would be of any use to us.
I don't really like being up here anyway.
I guess if we're just putting something out for Alex too.
Keep going that way.
Yeah.
I would have thought someone died about first.
Do you think that shack is out this way?
Could be.
How do you know? I don't even think we're really on a trail anymore.
Yeah.
Ow. What?
Just a guess.
Hope we can find our way back. This is it up here, I think.
Could be back here.
Yeah. You see it?
No.
It's not back there?
No, there's nothing. Like a pile of dirt and some trees. That's all there is back here.
You sure?
You can see for yourself.
I'm pretty sure this is where it was. Let's
See it
just
up here anywhere?
get back on the trail that we were on and keep going towards that tunnel. Maybe we'll stumble across it on the way. Because I have no idea where we
Where
are.
else could it be?
I don't know. What are we going to find if we go in there?
I mean, we got dropped off there, so obviously there's something important there, I would think.
There could be someone there waiting for us, too. Let's just go back the way we came. I looked over there already. There's nothing. There's a sign right here, but I can't read it. Let's just go back before we get lost. Come on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Don't worry about me.
Here, you hold the camera for a while.
Sure.
Got it? Yeah.
So is this where Alex... Do you know who that other guy was?
Well, they said that the shooting.
Did Alex, do you think?
Happened like a year and a half. I'm not sure. Even further back.
What's on the other side of this tunnel?
I don't know. I've only been over there once. I was chasing you at the time.
Obviously, I don't remember anything about that.
Just saying this. I've only been over there once and wasn't really paying that close attention at the time.
Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to find out. Who is it?
I don't know. Someone I've never seen before. Hello?
Leave. Now.
Hey!
That was Alex.
What?
I mean, he just hung up, but that was Alex.
Which means if
Is he here?
stay, he's gonna have to show up.
Hold on, I'm gonna try and call back.
He's not gonna answer.
I'm gonna try.
You think he's following us?
Probably. I mean, if he just calls telling us to leave, then we're probably about to find something he doesn't want us to see, so let's keep going.
Well, we need to get out of here right now then if he's been following us.
What? Come on. Come on. Come on.
It's the slender gentleman. That's funny. Sure, funny.
We'll sit down again after the end.
Oh god, yeah, it's barely got a cushion on it. That must be fucking miserable.
Oh my god. Tim!
What?
What are you doing out here? Tim!
We've got the
Wake up.
chest cam, so the logic should be on the camera.
Are you okay? Open the door. What happened? Tim, wait! What are you doing? Tim!
Yeah, no.
Tim, wait! Tim!
Shit! My curtain! You start breaking off now. Oh, fuck. Oh no, the whole thing broke. It's fine. It's really bright this morning. No, I'll deal with it.
I tried to follow Tim, but he was already gone.
A minute's a long time.
I have no idea how he was able to get to the parking lot before me.
Teleportation.
Something seemed very wrong with him. I need to find out where he is now. I'm not losing track of him again, especially with Alex still out there.
Should be it. Should be it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm still here, just this chair is painful, so I'm standing up for a while.
It's great because Chaos said Chaos made a very great statement. Bro, I glanced down and then looked back to see Jordan gone after the Slenderman stuff. You also got taken. and then after that, I accidentally knocked my curtains down. Ah, just having the worst day, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is a great entry, though. This is a really good entry.
Yeah.
The fact that they're doing a lot of investigation, they're working together. Alex decides to call them in the tunnel. Clearly, the tunnel is a. I mean, I guess you could say it's a key point to whatever. I don't exactly know. Maybe just coincidence that Alex decided to call them at that moment. It's hard to say because he must have been watching them, right? But in which case, only when they went to the tunnel. Why wouldn't he have contacted them any time before? I don't know. Maybe the tunnel's more important. Maybe he's killed more people there ever since. We don't obviously know. Clearly very connected to the Slender Man. Maybe the Slender Man lives in the tunnel. Maybe he's secretly a troll or something. I don't really know. Probably not. That would obviously be a bit too ridiculous. And then a big thought for me, besides the fact that obviously, oh no, he must have taken Tim, and then now Tim has been teleported back to his car, probably more influenced than before, which is probably why he's obviously on the run now, or escaping the situation. The thing for me, the thing for me that really jumps out is the fact that Slenderman's obviously had a level of influence with Tim before.
Mhm.
What makes this one different? Why is this one? I mean, I suppose it could be just that he has more influence because he doesn't have access to his meds at the time. Maybe over all the years of him attempting to try to get more proxy influence over him, he has more control this time. Maybe the tunnel has something to do with it. Maybe it's an amplification. I'm not sure.
I think that one of the implications, of, at least, certainly this is how people interpreted it back in the day, myself included, is that like something is on the other side of the tunnel. Like the tunnel is like a gateway to something that we haven't seen yet.
I guess that's true.
And so, like, it's almost like the Slender Man's guarding it, or maybe it's lives back there. Maybe Alex. Well, Alex is clearly aware of something there, but
Yeah.
plus, like, he's waited at that tunnel before, so he's found significance in that tunnel.
That's true. That's very true. Right, I'm gonna pee and grab myself another drink. What we're gonna do, we're gonna switch to chat time.
Okay.
And then if you want to sit in that chair,
Yes,
so you
now.
can still be seen on the camera as well. While I'm gonna play 10 minutes.
Okay.
But you've got this. Oh, I'll tell you what. If you want, yeah, it's a little bit easier.
Okay, that works. Yeah. Hey there, everybody. So I've got to catch up with chat. Last time looked like, see Jordan gone. Yep, Jordan got taken. That's right, Ellie. Slenderman out here just snatching up people. Katniss Strange says, "Why is he leaving him?" Lol. Lazy says, "This is officially out of the scope of what I remember happening." That's actually surprising to me. Katniss Strange, maybe just fed up. Lol. Well says Jordan returns. Yeah, Smith says, "Oh, Slender gave you back." Says, "Sick of Jay's privacy law breaching." Laser says, "But now he did disembodied head and arm. D : Katniss Strange says, "Oh no, it's not him. Lol." Ellie Marie says, "XD." Laser says, "I love getting to the bottom of this type episodes." Says, "They didn't pay the toll. Greater than : 0. Chaos Smith says, "Or he's extra spooks maybe." Chaos Smith says, "He was left with Slenderman for some period of time." Lazy says, "You're in the host chair now." Chaos Smith says, "Secret tunnel." Says, "Jordan time." Lazy says, "Secret tunnel." Ellie Marie says, "I just build custard creams everywhere. I'm extremely British." You said it, not me. Katniss Strange says, "They didn't pay the toll. Lol. Eric says, "I didn't brush my teeth. I'm British." Says, "Not the custard creams. We must mourn immediately. ? Ellie Marie says, : open parentheses. Katniss Strange says, "I wasn't aware that was a British thing. Lol." And there we go. We're all caught up. That's my little monotone chat rating. It seems like even Nathan also doesn't remember much of this part of the story, which I guess in fairness, that season 3 is big, but like this is a pretty memorable part of the story for me. It's it's really just the next entry. The next entry is classic. It's one of the big ones of the season, and therefore of the series. Thank you all. My monotone chat reading loves you too. Don't know what else to say. This other chair is kind of really stiff. Is this video frozen or just staying like that? Seems to be fine. Because like I'm looking at the feed on the phone. The video seems fine. Says, "I'm not ready for the next entry." Well, that's fair enough. So it isn't frozen for me. Ellie managed to save the custard creams. There's a select few entries that stand out to me, like flashbulb memories. Somehow this wasn't one of them. That's fair. I generally remember 64 as being the one that builds up 65. It's a two-parter. So I'm a little bit surprised we stopped in between, but I guess Nathan didn't remember. The artist thing from this season, and it lives rent free in my head. Eric, it's just some trees. Oh, yeah, it's the background. Yeah, because Nathan's taking a break. He's gone to get some more drink, beer, alcohol, imbibements. Left me here to babysit for now. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Sorry, we'll swap seats for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Yeah, we can trade again after a while.
Yeah, well, we'll take turns. We'll get you a better chair than this. Oh man, just some trees. Think it's gonna be a jump scare. All right. Curious what Marble Hornets is. I think it's a horror series, sorta. There's so much we could say.
We've done like several streams up to this point.
Well, yeah, and sadly, not everybody's here for it, are they? So it is to put it simply, it's one of the oldest analog horror series on the internet, and it's one of the first ones about. Well, it is the first one about the Slenderman. There you go. That's it. That sums it up.
Yeah, it's analog horror. It's very very interested in the aesthetics of handheld cameras and how they can break down, like the various glitches that can occur on them. It's low budget acting, but like about as good as you can get for low budget acting. And it's like Alabama Gothic. It's one of the ways I could put it.
Oh my god. Alabama Gothic, I like that.
That may have actually been one of the things that really attached me to the series, because we grew up in Georgia, which is the trees are very similar there. Like,
yeah,
a lot of the settings look similar.
Yeah, that's true. Especially like Rosswood Park gives me so many vibes where I'm like, I feel like I've been here before, even though we haven't.
And also, like, their accents are the same part of the world. That's very familiar to me.
Yeah, but at the same time, their accents aren't like heavy Alabama. You know, they're not like crazy country Southern kind of. Yeah. Like,
no, but like even the people we knew in Georgia, know.
Of course. Yeah, they were more. Some people call them more transatlantic.
LA likes Alabama Gothic.
It's funny. It's Alabama Gothic. I think it's a great way to describe Alabama Gothic. I wasn't ready for that. That's fucking. We don't rehearse any of the shit. That's great. That's funny. That's really really funny.
Yeah, you see, you can't script this kind of genius.
It's true. It's true. That's why we're the only things that are scripted are I mean the stories I read. Obviously, you can see the text that goes on screen. That's the only scripts. I mean, maybe sometimes I have bullet points, you know, to kind of help us keep track of talking points, but otherwise, we don't. It doesn't matter as long as we don't say racist stuff. I don't condone that kind of shit.
That's fair.
You know, there's certain things where I'm like, fuck no, but otherwise, whatever. You know, let's have fun. Who cares?
Candace Strange is calling me the perfect guest. I'm Nathan's brother. I'm Jordan.
Yeah, and he's also far more of an expert in the Marble Hornets universe than I am. Although I've seen it because of him, and it is his fault, which makes it sound bad and negative. But really, it's a good thing that it's his fault because it's a fantastic series, and yet again, it falls in the niche of what my channel is nowadays anyway, with scary analog horror coverage. And this is just a great thing to be able to rewatch. Plus, there's far less issues with copyright, which is fantastic for me. Yeah. It means I don't have to worry about the stream randomly getting pulled. We only lost 500 frames so far, which is minuscule. All good. God, look at those chat. Let's see. Intrigued with a real life Slenderman incident where those two girls sacrificed a third friend to gain favor with Slender. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I could understand why somebody might do something ridiculous like that, mainly because they're children, and children are more susceptible to, you know, especially if somebody feeds them wrong information about a cursed thing online. It's like with any kind of folklore, really, basically folk tales of like, La Llorona's a great one, Bloody Mary. You talk about a variety of things. People will believe it. Right? Especially if they don't fucking know what it is, and if they're young, they doubly will believe it. You know, so it's bad that it went that far. Absolutely, should never have gone that far. But it is fascinating in a morbid way, right? I don't condone that shit. But it is intriguing. You're quite right. The other things that are scripted are the beer fund intervals. I mean, I have to read the names of the tin. I guess you could call that a script. I do pick ones that I tend to know I like, but I do try new ones as well. It's not a big script. So tragic at this moment it happened. You all remember a movie about Slenderman where some teenage girls try to summon Slenderman, but it backfires as one of them slowly disappears?
There are a few movies about the Slenderman. I haven't seen any of them. There's one that goes by the name Marble Hornets, but it's not actually. They just got the rights to use the name. It's not.
Oh, right. That's not even affiliated with like the actual guys.
Well, they got their blessing, and I think the creators got to be on the set for a bit, but they didn't have much input.
Oh, so it was. I don't want to shame, but it's like female Ghostbusters.
Maybe like I don't know
how they got the usage of the name, but it wasn't. It was bad. I'm so sorry. I have no issue with the fact they were female, okay? But it's the fact that they decided to make this an entirely new standalone thing, using the same names and having those actors that were live anyway in the film, but not being Ghostbusters. Just like the ladies were the ones who introduced the whole concept. It's like it's already an established IP. Just have it be where the old guys pass it on to them, and that would have been fine. But it was just an entirely new establishment thing, and I'm like, I don't understand why you felt the need to do this. You know, there's already just have it. I don't know. It didn't make sense that it was so separate, right? Like trying to just recreate the whole thing. I don't know. It didn't make sense, but then they ended up with Ghostbusters Afterlife, and that was still not great. But at least it was passing on of the torch, and that made more sense in my head. You know, that's just me. That's just me. Tragic all around. More kids dying of schizophrenia. There's so much chat. That's the other problem. You have to keep up with chat. It's so fast. I think she's nursing another victim. I mean, absolutely not condoning the actions taken, of course, just how crazy it was. That's right. Joking. I know you guys are scripting your own streams. Yeah, I barely script any of myself. I just don't have the time. Plus, usually I try to remember a lot of things off the top of my head, which makes it really difficult sometimes. Because sometimes I forget shit. But that's just me. I was watching. They lean too hard into girls. Can be gross too, in your opinion. I didn't have an issue with it. Like I said, I didn't have an issue with the fact they were the women. That was fine. It's just the fact that they tried to be the original Ghostbusters, which they were already original Ghostbusters. I thought that was just confusing and strange to me. Didn't make sense. Hot take: the animated series the animated series is great. I mean, obviously, I love the original Ghostbusters movies too, but the animated ones are great. You're quite right. Janine kicked ass on that show, dude. For fucking real. Ellie gets me. Ellie totally gets it. I have to agree with Ellie. Thank you. I think Ghostbusters Ladies was a flop because it tried too hard to be like girls can do it too. True. Which is not really the point most people want to convey, but I'm not going to get into it. Exactly right. It's a tricky topic to talk about because people make it sexist, and it's like that's not the issue. Though it could have been a completely different. It could have been another male cast, and it would have still been bad. It's there's so many other terrible flops that I can name. Cough, cough, Dragon Ball Evolution, but we're not going to get into those things. The fact is, they try to do something which they just do it wrong. You know, they just do it wrong. That's all I'm saying. Pay homage to where you came from. That's what I'm saying. If you come from something else. Also, I did not see the movie. Barely remember the original, so I'm the worst judge. Didn't have an issue with them being women either. Just they felt they were trying to prove something. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It felt like they were trying too hard. Yeah, 100%. Would have been cooler if it was a passing. Exactly. If I would have been fine if it was all female team, but the original Ghostbusters guys passed the torch. I would have been like, dude, fucking great, cool, fantastic. That's yeah. Come on, that's not rocket science. Okay, right. We're gonna read chat all day. Otherwise, we have to get back into it. Okay, I love you guys. You're distracting me. We have to get back into it. Let's see.
Also, Eric, the answer you're looking for is Buckethead. It's not. I'm joking.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a good answer, though. I agree. Buckethead is always an appropriate answer. Okay. Where are we at? 65 or is it
65? Oh.
Display!
Remember. You abandoned him.
How could you?
So,
Don't be sorry. It is fine.
He is searching. Alex is searching for you.
That's cheeky.
The answer to that code was.
Oh, should we have a look?
And it's like right at the end.
Reach. Like right at the end?
It might be before that.
You think
Go
before?
backwards, go
Okay.
backwards. If possible.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's letters.
It looks hexadecimal again.
With
with,
standout letters. So there's T, A, E, H, H, T, W, C, D. I don't know. Like if I looked at my phone, I'd find the answer.
H T C W. It's probably not just a standout, but it's also an anagram.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have a W in it that's related to the series. Watcher.
Wood.
No. What Watcher? WATCHER.
Oh, then actually, yeah. That.
Oh no, there's an extra A and an extra H though, and no R, so that doesn't quite.
Huh.
He watches. Is there an S somewhere? No, he watched. There's a D. He watched.
Okay. Then,
He watched.
then there we go.
Boom.
You cracked it.
I just had to think of the letters because I was like, what the fuck has a W in it? Sorry. Entry 65.
Yeah.
He was right here. Put him back.
Just cam.
That's it. Cat cam is on.
Full of dirt and some trees, but that's all there is back here. Got it? Yeah.
Where is it me? I promise it wasn't me. Was it me? Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. It's right there. No, no, no! It's right there! It's right there! It came from right there! What do you want? What do you want?
You have one unheard message sent today at 3:44 a.m.
I know you're probably asleep right now, but it's me. I need you to meet me as soon as you get this.
I was sure you wouldn't be coming back. Are you okay? What happened?
I don't remember. Had this with me the whole time, though.
Okay, thanks.
I know it was recording the whole time we were at the park, but the batteries are dead now. I don't know how long they lasted.
Yeah, I figured they would be if it was on.
Listen, there's some things we need to talk about.
Alright, well now would be the time.
There's something I need to show you, too.
Something around here?
No. You're not gonna like this, but we need to go back to that hospital.
What? Why? No. Why would we do that?
Look, if we're gonna keep working together, it's just something we need to do. I guess you'll just have to trust me on this one.
Not really a trusting person anymore, Tim.
I know, I understand that, but I wouldn't ask you to do this if it wasn't important.
Are you sure it's gonna help?
Yeah.
You're positive. Alright, let's go over there now and get it out of the way.
Wait, hang on. I can't just yet. I need to go talk to my boss and see if I still have a job. Probably don't, but it's worth a shot, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, go do that. I'll be around. Just call me whenever you're done. We'll head over there.
Okay.
I think that's it. It's a big one, but it's a good one.
It is a biggie but a goodie. Let's get back. Oh yeah, of course. No, that's a fair point. We need to show off what we're drinking. So, I'm on one of my favorites, Northern Monk Faith. Delicious hazy pale apple with a grapefruit flavoring. Very, very nice.
And I'm on a Northern Monk Transient, some sort of a hazy DDH IPA, whatever.
Double dried hop.
Whatever.
So it's going to have hints of a tropical flavor because I've tried that one, and but you also get the dry hop flavor. It's quite nice.
Let's find out.
No, it's quite good. Plus it's 7%, so it's pretty strong.
It tastes like alcohol. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is alcohol. So.
Yeah. Unlike the grapefruit one, it's less of a pleasant drink and more of just a drink.
Yeah, no, it's the double dried hop it has a level of flavor, but it's more of the dry is what kind of defines it, and the flavor stops. It's a bit of a shame, but it's all right, for what it is. Double dried, double dried. Some people like that stuff. I'm all right with it. It's not my personal favorite, but it can be all right.
It'll do.
Yeah, exactly. It'll do. So we need to dissect what just happened. Because one of the most important questions is how much of this was real, right? At least what happened to Tim. But the important key factor for me is the fact that the chest cam. Because if it was all in his head, psychological trauma, which is most likely what we believe happens to these guys with the influence factor, then it wouldn't be caught on the camera. Maybe just him in a spot being fucked with or something would be. But he was clearly physically taken places. Physically and psychologically tortured. All of it clearly wasn't real. I mean, he found the dead body, which maybe it was meant to be a representation of Jay or something. Oh, I don't fucking know. We didn't get enough of a look at the guy. But, oh no shit, hang on a minute. Was that dead guy the same one that Alex attacked?
Yeah. The white shirt was supposed to be somebody saw.
How was he able to keep him fresh for well over a year? Pocket dimensions. I mean, obviously it's confusing, isn't it? But
that is getting into something. The important question is, as I see it, it's less is that real and more like if Tim was just holding a regular camera and didn't have the chest cam, the camera would have just glitched out. We wouldn't have seen any
exactly.
But the chest cam lets us see what happens when the Slenderman
gets. At least snippets. I mean, clearly we didn't get to see everything, but we saw enough that gave us an idea of what actually happened. So I completely agree. And it's clear that he does get taken places, which means this has obviously happened before, and probably also to Alex and anybody else. Yeah. Maybe not to the same extent. But I feel like Tim is a bit special to Slenderman, so he clearly went above and beyond. But it all happened. It felt like it was a long time that he was taken, right?
Yeah.
But clearly, it was also not much time at all in the real world because he was able to drop him near his car after all that torture.
Yeah.
Before Jay even gets there.
Yeah.
So it clearly tells you that it's not just a physical teleportation, but there's also a level of time manipulation as well in these factors. Which is why I reluct to keep saying it could be pocket dimension, fuck aroundery. Clearly, Slenderman has otherworldly things and capabilities that we're, not fully comprehending. But, if we wanted to kind of try to define it, it feels like he can manipulate space and time in a way, right? And he clearly has pockets of places where he can do what he wants, because he still has that dude's body. And it's not decomposed at all. It's still got some of the blood going out and stuff, which is like, the fuck? It's like it's still fresh, like he'd still just barely taken him, which maybe time works differently there, however you want to look at it. Maybe it pauses when nobody's there. I don't know. Maybe it's a stasis type of thing. Either way. But the fact is, it proves Slenderman physically takes people to places, not just for a level of psychological trauma, but also for physical as well.
Yeah.
And this is the proof of it. And I think it's one of the best entries because of that, because it really defines the fact that we get an idea of what Slenderman is doing to some of these people.
Yeah.
And yet again, this is just an idea. This is just a taste. He might have done this to Tim multiple times, because another big part, right? Tim is the first one who brings up the abandoned hospital place. And the weirdo annex that he never likes talking about, and he always tries to play it off like, it's not really all that exciting, this is the better building and stuff. I think it's because Tim, and I'm sure you obviously know this, I think it's because Tim, especially when he was younger, having to go through some kind of a psychological help and everything, probably went to this very same place. And the annex, maybe especially. Maybe he had a lot of his treatments there. He has a lot of freakouts in a variety of rooms. He seems to know the layout really, really well. And he remembers certain things that are probably, somewhat blocked in his memory unless he's under a level of influence because of Slenderman. And we're learning more snippets of his backstory, which maybe connect him to when Slenderman first found him when he was younger. Probably in that very same place. It's probably another reason why Tim hates going there. He doesn't want to be there because it brings back a lot of traumatic memories for him. Even if he's not aware that they're still in there. He probably has them blocked, but Slenderman brings it back out, right? That's just my thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's a very logical reading of it, and that's generally how people took it back in the day, too.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Could it be true? I mean, we don't know. We obviously don't know at this moment in time that is for sure the case. These are just theories and ideas and hypotheses that at least I'm drawing. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard though, isn't it? it really does tell you just how hard Tim's had it, and he's clearly been dealing with this sort of thing for years.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have to assume Alex had the same, but somehow Slenderman has a far bigger control over Alex. Tim somehow, going through his levels of therapy and help and everything, has been able to combat these problems, and obviously that's because of the pills as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Alex doesn't have that. And maybe that's why Alex has fallen far too much in the control. Maybe there's other things to it as well. You don't really know. But it gives you an idea of what probably has been going on to these people because of Slenderman. It's hard, isn't it? But it's so beautifully shot and it's so beautifully told.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly not just in their heads. There is more to it. And this entry is perfect for telling that. It's so good.
Yeah.
Poor Tim.
Yeah, I love the cinematography of this. I think it's sort of like up to this point, this is like one of the scariest entries. It doesn't scare me anymore, but it was. It's very intense to see him kind of teleporting around, getting disoriented because he's. I don't know how clear it comes across, and this might even just be me reading it rather than actually how it goes. But there's a part where he's being dragged through the woods, but then suddenly he's hanging from a tree, and I kind of get this impression that was all one continuous thing for him. Like he was being dragged, and then suddenly he's holding onto a tree. What has happened?
Yeah. Which was that supposed to be a representation of Slenderman grabbing him, and then
Possibly.
Brought back to the real world? Turns out it's just a tree. Maybe that's the thing that Slenderman could do as well, because yet again, Slenderman is associated with trees. That's what I thought of that scene, but yeah.
It's like when I've watched a few found footage movies.
Take care, Eric.
Watched a few found footage movies over the course of the years because Marble Hornets got me into found footage. I got interested in it. So
I get that.
over the years, I have seen like Paranormal Activity. I've seen Blair Witch Project.
What about Cloverfield?
I've seen Cloverfield.
It's great, but also bad.
Like, I think that Marble Hornets kind of is better than most of these movies.
Marble Hornets, I think the best part
as a found footage thing, it does more for found footage than
you
any
get
of
to see
these
so much more, and yet you still get the crazy moments where you don't really see what's going on, but it still tells you so much. And that's the best part about it, because it's like you said, it is still found footage, but it's better at telling it. I mean, Cloverfield is my favorite example of not great found footage, because I love the movie. I love the story it's trying to tell. There's so many scenes where you don't really know what the fuck is going on, and nothing is really explained, and nothing. It's just a bit poor in certain situations where it should have been better. I mean, it's so fast. It's such a fast movie, and it needed more time. And yet the sequel, completely different. Completely different.
Was it the
10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah, I love that one.
Fucking great movie.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But set in the same universe. But you wouldn't fucking know it until right at the end, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a Cloverfield movie. So different.
Oh, the thing that movie would have been even better if it wasn't a Cloverfield movie.
Honestly.
Just the John
It
Goodman
would have been fine without the fact it was exactly. It would have been fine without the Cloverfield tie-in, but so John Goodman. God damn, what an actor! What an actor!
He's a good villain, surprisingly.
Oh, he could be a great villain. He's really good.
Ellie's recommending
REC. Oh, Rec. Yep. Yeah, I thought Rec was quite good because it was the quarantined like apartment block building place, wasn't it? That's right. And that was quite interesting. I think it was was it zombie-ish, zombieism or something like that. They had some kind of an issue going on with the people, but it wasn't apparent until a little bit later on. They just thought they were sick or something. I remember that was a good movie. It was a good little movie. Decent found footage, but it's more shot like a film crew. So it's not a perfect found footage film, right? I suppose the definition of found footage is somebody else finds the film. So I suppose it meets that criteria, but
Well, I think that my favorite found footage film, like ignoring Marble Hornets because it's not a film, but my favorite film is The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen The Visit where they go to see the grandparents.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
I love that one.
I went
crazy for that one.
Get in the oven. Grandma, what? You need to get in the oven to clean it. What the fuck? Or underneath the fucking house. Oh,
Yeah.
there's so many great scenes. That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
That movie just made my skin crawl. Oh, there's so much dread in that movie.
Yeah, it's a perfect thing because it's steeped in a level of reality, right? Because it's something that you would think about, where you just go to visit your grandparents the weekend. It's probably not going to be all that super fun, and they're not with the times of technology, and I want to do this, and you're obviously completely different wavelengths. But then there's far more horror going on with it. It's just brilliant, and I love
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's no, The Visit. That was a good film. That's a good call. Good call, man. Let's see. Right, Lake Mungo is so good and scary and sad. Don't think I've seen Lake Mungo. Don't know that one. Love The Visit. Yep. The Rapping Child in The Visit haunts my dreams.
I mean, you do have to just take that one as it goes.
Not everything's great. That's very true. That's very true.
But it makes it, like I said, it's very believable for a little, just a little dorky preteen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ugh. But yeah. Do you think at this point, obviously you know more than we do you think at this point that Tim did have earlier encounters with Slenderman?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I thought that ages ago, and I still think it now. I still definitely think, especially based on what he's been saying in the certain rooms, it feels very much like Slenderman first found him in this specific place.
Yeah.
100%. Maybe even it was abandoned at that point. Maybe it wasn't really a facility. Or, whatever. The fact is, that building has big ties to Tim. And Slenderman found him there probably first. I would completely agree. Recommend trying out Lake Mungo. It keeps hold of you well. Okay, I'll try that. Lake Mungo very much reminds me of Twin Peaks. Oh, okay. I'm very interested in watching this now. Okay, Lake Mungo. I'm gonna make a note of that. Luckily, I've got the chat log to fall back on, so we might want to close that because inevitably it's going to blow too far, and if it gets too dark outside and too bright in here, it's going to bring in a plethora of bugs, and that's going to be so unpleasant at nighttime for me because I have no way to deal with them besides just killing them, and that's just cruel. In the way it approaches its themes, it's very Fire Walk with Me. Okay.
Twin Peaks movie.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, I like it. I love our little chats. This is great. This is so good. Right. I think we need to get back to it, don't we?
Yeah.
Get back to it.
Only got a couple entries left anyway, at least on the plan.
Yeah, and then we can do proper chats. Let's see. Next up is Surveillance.
Oh.
Whenever you're younger.
Look up some of these.
Do you know where you put it? Oh, it's here. Yeah. You do that. I will scroll to whatever we need. Let's see. We do TV. See if we find the codes that first appear, because it's the two TVs first when it does codes. We have old Alex. Yeah, they use a lot of the older footage. So
Yeah.
here we go. So let me go frame by frame here. See if we can see the text that appears in the two TVs. Oh my god. So slow. Oh. Sees.
Oh, sees now. That's what it says.
Sees now. Okay.
And the video description is a code that spells out continue on. Let's see. Code at the end of the video decodes to truly your fault and she's out there. Oh, presumably like Jessica is out there.
I would guess so, yeah. Sees me is probably talking about Alex. Alex sees me? Is that sees me, is that right?
Maybe. Oh, it sees now.
So it sees now. Okay. Alex. No, not Alex. It would have to be Tim sees now. That would make more sense. Alex clearly doesn't matter. He's not relevant enough to what's going on, and he's not going to break free from the hold. I think it's Tim. I think Tim sees now.
Yeah, and I always took the permanence part. It shows Jay and Tim. He's saying like Jay and Tim are a permanent bond now, but then he's also including himself in that because when their pictures fade, you can see to the arc in the background.
That's right. In the TV reflection,
There's definitely like around this point in the story where I started to figure out that like, to the arc at least thinks he's on the same side as Tim and Jay. He sees himself as one of the protagonists here.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would definitely think to the arc, Hoodie, however you want to define it, definitely sees himself as a good guy.
Yeah.
Acting in mysterious ways, but because he believes he is the antithesis to Slenderman and Alex, he sees himself as a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would completely agree. You're disappearing sometimes. I guess it's just because it gets a bit dark, and you're wearing black.
Yeah.
So you blend into the background. So green screen's like, oh yes, you must disappear now. Let's see. All right. Next one is 66. Buckle up, buckaroos.
Well, this is it.
This is what exactly?
This was my room. I used to live here, or used to be a patient here, but I guess you kind of figured that out already.
I mean, the thought crossed my mind, but I never really knew for sure. Why were you here?
Oh, come on, you see my medical history. Obviously, you know I have some issues. And I've had them for a pretty long time.
How long are we talking?
As long as I can remember. Well, my mom brought me here when I was really young, but she never told me exactly why.
You never asked her?
She's never really around to ask. And the doctors would never tell me to my face either, but I'd always hear them say things like violent episodes or delusions, you know, stuff you can't just tell a little kid. And they ran all kinds of tests and pinned just about every disorder you could think of on me at some point or another. And they settled on schizophrenia eventually, but I don't even think they knew for sure. I was on a lot of medication most of the time I was here. I got used to it after a while, and it helped, but not enough.
What do you mean?
Well, one of the problems I was having was hallucinations. I had a lot of them. And part of me knew they weren't real, but that still didn't make them go away. Or maybe I just didn't want them to at the time. At one point they got so bad I kept escaping from my room. I'd hide in the maintenance tunnel or run off to Rosswood Park, which you know isn't that far away from here. And whenever they would find me, I would say that I was hiding from whatever it was I was seeing, so they'd bring me back, and I didn't have much of a choice except to lock me in here. That's when it was at its worst. I'd be clawing at the walls and screaming at all hours of the night. I had to up my dosage just to calm me down, to the point where I was almost numb.
But these hallucinations, what do they look like?
Well, that's the thing, I can't remember any of them. Probably because of the medication. It didn't cure me exactly, but it kind of leveled me out enough that I was able to go to a normal school. I got transferred to another facility, got into college. That's where I met Brian, the first real friend I remember having.
That's where you met Alex too, right?
Yeah. When I saw that footage that you got from him, and that person in the background or whatever it was, I couldn't help but think, you know, what if that's what I was seeing when I was in here? You know, what if that wasn't a hallucination at all?
Wait, what are you trying to say?
I'm saying, what if this is my fault? Alex could be a normal person, you could be living a normal life, so could Jessica, so could everybody else if it wasn't for me. I have no way of knowing that for sure. That's always going to be in the back of my mind. How am I supposed to handle that?
I don't think shifting the blame is really going to help anyone right now.
I blamed everybody else except for me, and I could be the one that started this.
I think you just need to relax because all the stress is probably making you really paranoid.
But what if I'm right? happened to me is happening to Alex right now.
I don't know. But I do know that you're not like him. Not entirely, anyway.
He's not running around in the woods with a mask on at night.
No, but you're not pointing a gun at me right now either.
Well, that's it. No more secrets.
The fifth member of the Beatles.
It's kind of a lot to take in at once. Come on, we should go. Unless there's anything else you want to show me.
Believe me, I really want to go, but I feel like there's something else here that we're missing. And if there is, I don't want to have to come back here again looking for it.
Like what?
Well, you found those papers of mine. What if there's more somewhere? Like some kind of filing room, maybe.
I think we found it.
Do you know where something like that would be?
Possibly. Can always go look.
Will you know it if you see it?
Probably. It's worth a shot.
Yeah. All right, if you want to, we can go look.
Okay. Should be right up here.
Is he behind this desk?
I think so. And of course, there is nothing.
Is there anything in this other room back here?
A lot of vintage porn.
Those are footsteps. Turn on the flashlight. Just stay back here. Come on. We should stay back here. Stay back. Hiding isn't gonna get us anywhere. Damn.
We should nod them too.
Nice.
Metal Gear Solid. Oh. Yes, Metal Gear Hornets. That's old gear stuff. Nah, there's not really a good way to combine it. The long silent chase scene. He's in a room. Crap alone.
He's heading off in the woods. Come on. Where'd he go? This way. Come on. So what now?
This close. We were this close. How can he just disappear like that?
No, I don't know. He probably hid in the woods and we walked right by him.
Trapped him in the room.
Maybe he got ahead of us. Maybe he's on the other side of that hill somewhere.
Or maybe he's anywhere. I mean, look around.
So what are we supposed to do? Just go home and forget about it?
I mean, we have this.
All right, that makes me feel better. I feel a lot better. Or just go back and wait for him to show up at my house again.
It's just like standing there.
So you could hear a plane flying overhead.
He's always in the plane. I see. Do we feel the need to talk? Do we feel like there's much discussion for that one?
The first half of it addressed a lot of the things that you speculated.
Oh, I suppose that's true. Yeah, but
It just confirmed this stuff.
yeah, it just confirmed my crazy ramblings. That's all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it felt like it was becoming more and more obvious. So I was just
Yeah.
kind of waiting for confirmation, which I knew was coming, but obviously I forgot when it was coming.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know that it was actually sooner than I expected, which is great. I remember one more significant thing that happens. And besides that, I don't remember much else. So I'm really interested to see what else is going to kind of line up and be answered, because I also know that not everything does get answered. At least not until we get to the comic territory anyway, which is going to be really interesting to delve into that at one point. It's just me. Hoodie got his plane license. Hoodie's got his plane license. Somehow quickly took off before they even noticed. Honestly, they should have trapped him in the fucking room. That's so aggravating. We wanted to catch him. Should have fucking cornered him. You could have stood in the door. Jay could have stood in the doorway. Tim could have approached him. What was he going to do? Jump out the skinny fucking windows he had to climb up to reach? He wasn't going to... come on. That was that. It just... Yeah. But I understand.
Yeah, they could have cornered him.
Yeah, but I understand. Great storytelling. This is the way it's meant to be. But still. Exactly. You're right. They could have jumped him. 2 against 1, they would have got him. But, I understand. I guess
they don't know what he's capable of. They're worried that he might be really threatening.
Yeah, I suppose another way to look at it is Tim, when he wears the mask, can disappear quickly as well, right? So I guess there's that logic of maybe while they're in this state, trance, influence, whatever you want to call it, they have other capabilities that they aren't aware they maybe have when they're normal. Or maybe that's a gift that Slenderman has given them because of the influence. I don't know. Well, no, we do know. Yeah, we know. Yeah, I don't think I can say all the rest yet. Yeah, no, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Entry 67.
Let's go. The tape I found in the hospital must have been there for a while. It was scratched up and full of dirt. Really dark on this screen.
That's because the room gets darker, even though it doesn't look
like you're not dark.
That's because I'm closer to this thing.
I don't think the person in the hood had just placed it there either, but was checking to see if it had been found yet.
That answers my other question.
I tried my best to get it clean and working again, but most of the video still didn't play. Here is what I was able to get off of it. This takes place during 65, when Tim was freaking out in the hospital. After being caught by the Slenderman.
Yeah. When he passed out in that room.
Mm-hmm.
That proves Alex was nearby.
First time we've seen him all season.
Still looking angry as ever. clean. Might as well take his wallet.
Everything after this point is unplayable, with the exception of the last few minutes on the tape.
Yeah, this tape has been there a while. Makes you wonder how much time has truly passed between certain entries.
Might just be a matter of weeks because they won't have fast to check his birth schedule or whatever.
Oh boy. We're hitting some pretty far in territory, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Yeah, so it's got darker in here. The lighting situation in this room is small. It's well over there is why. It's the only light. Which yes, I could do lights and lamps and other things as well. I've got a little light down here, which is why we have a kind of illumination. It's it could be higher up, but it's also a small light, so it's a situation that makes it a little cozier. Yeah, it's kind of nice over a period of time. So we now have seen To the Ark, Hoodie, be more confrontational. Maybe he feels like Tim and Jay have not been solving the problem fast enough, which is probably why he's taken a more active role in this specific tape. But we also don't have confirmation as to whether or not he did kill Alex. Because, you know, he threatened him, and I think the point was to threaten him to bring out Slenderman. I think that was the point of that.
And also, like, To the Ark was trying to protect Tim because Alex heard Tim coughing, and Tim was vulnerable. He was unconscious. He was And like if Alex saw Tim, he was presumably going to shoot him, and To the Ark didn't want that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
He
sense.
He restrained Alex in order to do that.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But he also still, I mean, tied him up in a chair, let Tim beat the shit out of him, and then threatened him with his own gun. I definitely feel like the point was to bring out Slenderman, but maybe also he still thought he could kill Alex, ending one of his proxies.
Yeah.
If we yet again go with the idea that if you're under enough influence, you're a proxy. You're like basically a conduit of Slenderman. Is how I see what a proxy is, right? And it works because it brought Slenderman. We don't know what happened after that, obviously, but we did see the fact that Tim was being recorded from the woods, probably because Hoodie made it out as well, as he claimed. It just clearly always seems to be able to be fine in all these situations, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Even though clearly he is definitely against Slenderman. But Slenderman hasn't been able to catch him, or kill him, or get rid of him, or have enough influence over him.
I think like one of the ways that I like to look at that is that, of course, like To the Ark wears the hood, and it's like Tim wearing the mask. But like with Tim, there's a dichotomy. It's like when he's wearing the mask, that means he's crazy, basically, and when he's crazy, that means the Slenderman's doing stuff to him.
Yeah,
So,
he's under the influence.
So, like To the Ark is like that, except he's never not wearing the mask. He's always crazy.
Yeah.
So like when the Slenderman does stuff, Slenderman has probably done so much stuff to him that he's like that all the time now. So when the Slenderman does catch him and take him to torture places,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He's like become far too numb to it.
Yeah.
Which then makes you wonder how long has he been doing it to Hoodie? Because we know he's been doing it to Tim. I mean, at least probably the longest.
Yeah.
Based on our understanding of the story. Yet again, we don't really know much else about To the Ark Hoodie, do we? We just see his bizarre cryptic messages and we have an idea of what he's trying to maybe do, but we don't really know who he is or his motives or how he's operating or anything like that. So it's true. You know, for all we know, maybe he's become far too numb to the influential work of Slenderman.
Yeah, if anything, like he might like being like that because he's kind of trying to egg on Tim to wear the mask again, to join him in this. Because like
That's true.
It's like when we're like this, we can do stuff.
Yeah.
And Tim's struggling to accept that. But, yeah.
Well, I think it's also because he sees the fact that they can be more aggressive. They could be more assertive when they're in that form. Maybe isn't the right word, but I feel like maybe it's an appropriate word as well. Yeah. And then, but they aren't really trying to make Jay become that, even though they still want Jay to work with them. But you think they would want Jay to also become so influenced that he also takes on maybe a kind of aggressive alter ego as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a number of things that I can't say about that, but just, but just that's something to keep in mind. I would just say that like To the Ark is pursuing Jay like that as well, but there's two of them, like Jay and Tim. He's got some sort of a connection with Tim already, so he's focusing on Tim because it's somebody he has a connection with. But he's interested in having Jay on his side as well.
Oh, of course. Ultimately, he definitely wants Jay to be with them, but at the same time, he's also not willing to meet and talk with him. You know, he acts in mysterious ways, right? He's one of those bizarro question mark protagonists that are always in the background pulling strings of a certain kind. There's always those in a variety of different movies, TV shows, and stuff like that you question their motives truly because there's an underlying like darker motif to it. Even though in reality what they are doing is probably good, but their methods might not be the best, right?
Yeah.
They're mysterious in that kind of a way. That's definitely what To the Ark Hoodie makes me feel.
Yeah.
Yet again, ultimately, we could be wrong. Maybe Hoodie's intentions are actually very bad. But, you know, from this current understanding, it feels like he is against Slenderman. Therefore, we have to paint him as a good guy, right? Because we believe Slenderman is the bad guy. Because he takes control over people and he tortures people. And he has them kill people. But I suppose he didn't really have Alex kill that guy. That was more so Alex's doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the influence had a big part to play in it, so maybe that is a part of it. I don't really know. It's hard to truly define, but I feel like we would paint Slenderman as an antagonist, right?
Yeah,
because he's not you can't define him as a good guy.
Yeah,
in simple terms, I suppose in complicated terms, it's an arguable point. But I would say in a simple form, yeah, Hoodie good, Slenderman bad. They clearly oppose each other.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't explain everything about Hoodie. We still don't know who he truly is. And what else I find interesting is the fact that his build changes. If you watch enough of the entries and you see Hoodie's appearance, he's not always the same dude. And I know that's meant to be it's meant to be a throw off thing that they like multiple people play him to make it so you don't know exactly who he is. But I think he is meant to be one person.
Yeah, it's like it's not quite meant to throw you off. It's more that like they were able to get the proper actor for some of these entries, but not for all of them. But since they figure like this is a person who wears a hoodie all the time, they don't need that specific actor. They can have somebody else substitute for him.
Exactly.
So they have substituted for him. And
but I think ultimately Hoodie is meant to be one person, even though the actor does change. Even though we don't know who he is, but I mean, he's probably connected to the Marble Hornets project, so he's going to be one of those people.
I think, like specifically in Entry 66, that was the proper actor wearing the hood.
Right, the guy he was supposed to be.
Yeah. I saw in the commentary today.
I still think Brian, but that's just me. Could be a completely random person. Who fucking knows? Maybe it's Tim's doctor. No, I really doubt it's him. I think it's Brian.
I'm trying to think of some jokes.
Or Seth. Oh, you know what? It's fucking Jessica, isn't it? It's definitely a man's body, but it's gotta be fucking Jessica. Or Amy. You know what? That would be wild. That'd be so wild if it was Amy.
What if it's also Jay?
Oh my god. You know what's even worse? What if it's Tim? Tim is both hoodie and mask, confirmed. Oh my god, we've cracked this case wide open. Alex. Oh my god, it's fucking Alex. Oh my god. Alright, shenanigans. I'm sorry. Let's see. What's his beef with Tim? Tim did nothing wrong. Tim is faultless in all things. Yeah, I completely agree. Tim is perfect. The sideburns, just more beautiful with age. He's the only guy who can really pull him off, in my opinion. I mean, there's probably others, but yeah. Duality of fashion choices. I'm still going with something more along the lines of a force of nature for Slenderman for some reason. I mean, I get that, but it's the beautiful defense for Tim, right? So Tim in this entry, or no, sorry, the entry before where he's kind of confessing all his things to Jay about how Slenderman he thought was hallucinations before, which led him to obviously have all of his episodes and his problems and stuff that led him to be hospitalized and go through all his treatments and everything. And it turns out, that Slenderman might actually be real. I might not have been hallucinating any of this. And then he begins to blame himself, saying, if, this is all my fault. And it's like, well, is it though? Because if you ask me, you didn't make Slenderman. You didn't bring him to existence. Yeah. Slenderman, a force of nature is a great way to describe it. It's like an animal, right? Think of him like an animal in this sense, or at least this metaphor. You don't control that creature. You have no way of controlling what that creature does. It's not like it's a solo prey thing, like if it just latches onto you and then it only fucks with you forever, then you still can't say that you would have solved the problem. Of course not. You don't know what that creature is going to do. You have zero control or insight or input into that situation. There is no way it is your fault. No way it is your fault. Because even if you fell prey to his influence fully like Alex has, Alex ended up killing a dude. He's probably killed other dudes as well. You would have just done that instead of him.
Yeah.
No matter what, the situation would have happened no matter who the person who became the proxy was. It's not Tim's fault whatsoever. So you're right. It is like a force of nature. We have zero control or input or insight into that situation. You're completely right. It's a great way to think of it. It's not Tim's fault. Hashtag love Tim. Terrible hashtag, but he's a great guy. We love Tim. Business suit or hoodie. BP Fishing Gaming Hunting. It's not a great name, buddy. BP is also a company. You got to be really careful about that. They might come for you. Hi, though. Good to see you. Hi. I feel like Slenderman probably falls into blue and orange morality. Oh, see. Oh, gets it. Hashtag love Tim. Damn right.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. We love Tim. We stan Tim. We love Tim. He's a great guy. probably tons of other terms I could use, but yeah, he's a great guy. Anyway, yeah, this is interesting. So we've seen Alex. We have officially seen Alex somewhat recently because of this tape.
Yep.
Obviously, he gets taken. He gets put in a chair, beaten to an extent, threatened. Don't know what happens after that. I'm assuming Slenderman comes in, saves the day, saves Alex. But it proves Alex is aware of what's going on. Either he's guarding certain areas, or he is indeed watching them because of Slenderman. And I think that's what's really happening. And he's only interfering if it's potentially going to be a problem for Slenderman. Otherwise, they're just observing, right?
Yeah.
They're doing whatever they're doing, but they're keeping an eye on them because they know they can fuck with whatever they're doing. I think that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like, all right, I'm going to have Alex go in and sort the shit because Slenderman's not going to do it. Get my proxy to do it. And then if the proxy fucks up, then I come in, right? It's typical boss mentality.
Like,
it's a weird fight. Definitely not saying it's Tim's fault, though. No, of course not. No. I think we're all in agreement. Tim is not to blame. Definitely not Tim's fault. The Tim-loving household. Damn right. Absolutely. Alex is basically a guard dog. Exactly. He's a guard dog. He's a lackey. He's a henchman. He's not the kingpin. Absolutely not. Slenderman's kingpin. Alex is just doing the dirty work. That's all. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Should we crack?
Yeah.
Do it.
That's for 67.5.
67.5.
Which may be the stopping point or the next one.
We'll see. We'll see how we feel. Depends how cliffhanger it is. Okay.
Yeah.
On my way. What room are you in?
159.
Alright, don't go anywhere.
I won't.
Where's your car?
It's around back. I have one in front of my room.
Got everything?
Yeah, I don't have much. Here, take this.
Somebody's gonna follow you then?
I think that's the safest thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Alex is still out there, he's gonna find us sooner or later.
Tim and I have left. It's too dangerous to stay in this area with Alex following so closely behind us. I can't say where we're going, because I know he's watching this too. But we're not giving up. We've done too much to just quit now.
Amazing.
Yeah, so they're on the run now, because the tape they found showed that Alex is still alive.
And that he's probably pissed
Yeah.
based on what's happened. And so they clearly believe that he's going to pursue them.
Yeah.
But is that him or is that Slenderman?
I mean, either way, it amounts to the same.
I suppose so. I guess because he's too far gone, right? So that's the argument of that. Okay. It's interesting. It's. I mean, like Jordan told us ages ago, it's going to give us more answers as it goes on, and it is doing that. It's clearly potentially trying to set up some kind of an ending, but I don't think it's going to be obviously a full ending, right? Because there's still a lot of questions. What happened to Jessica? I mean, I suppose you could also ask what happened to Amy, but I think we feel like Amy's potentially gone. Probably because of Alex and the Slenderman situation anyway. Arguable. I feel like that doesn't really matter. Jessica's obviously a concern. But how could it end? Because the only true ending would be that Slenderman is gone and that they're all back to normal, right? That's clearly how an ending would be in this scenario. At least a good one at that. But no matter how far we've come into the series, no matter how long we've been watching, no matter what we've deciphered, what we've dissected, what we've discussed, we've never seen anybody actually be able to do anything to Slenderman.
True.
How do you deal with something that pretty much nobody can even approach? I mean, I suppose you could say, well, shoot him with a gun from afar. It looks like that's been tried. I mean, Alex has got a fucking gun. Yep. You don't think he's tried that?
He probably has.
It's probably a big reason why he's become the proxy.
Yeah.
Because he's the most dangerous out of all the candidates. Slenderman's probably pursued him the hardest because he's like, hey, this guy will get me the fucking results I need. He's the biggest threat. If I control him, I'm in the winning situation. At least that's what I would think Slenderman would think of that situation. It's... I suppose the next best ending would be that Alex is taken care of in some way, shape, or form, or no longer controlled by Slenderman, if you want to be nicer. But Slenderman's still out there. He's still going to be a threat. How do you deal with that? I guess you could do what Alex did before, hide the cameras, get rid of all the evidence, make it so that Slenderman can't find you. But does that prove that he can't find you? Because then how do you explain the earlier stuff with Tim? The fact that he went to hospital. You think Tim had old recordings of him recording Slenderman and that's why he first found him?
That's a good point.
For all we know, that could be true. We haven't seen that proof, though. So, you know, it doesn't answer the fact that Slenderman can't find you without a camera. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I think we're all very excited to see where this could go. I remember some snippets. And that's why I'm trying to be very careful what I'm trying to say. But it does make you think. What are your thoughts?
Well, we're getting far enough in now that I'm a lot of the speculation that I made earlier in this series. It wasn't speculation, more just me trying to be coy and thoughtful about the themes.
Yeah.
But I won't bring up any of them up. You'll have to go back and watch those streams again if you really want to. Some of the things I've talked about will be relevant, but for, like, most of the things that you've asked will be addressed. I can say that for sure.
We won't know what happens to Amy, though. That never gets addressed. Well, it might get addressed. It just might not be answered. Right? Like, it might come up, but it doesn't get answered.
I mean, I guess I can at least bring something back into focus, which is the
Jay and Tim don't get into a relationship. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to put that out there.
which is like something that I've brought up a couple times throughout these streams is that I've credited it as one of the reasons I love this series. Is that you can kind of you can kind of have the same series without the Slender Man at all. Like, really, Alex is the antagonist, and because the way that the narrative works is it focuses on that. Like it hints at some really alien stuff to do with the Slender Man, but the actual core of the narrative is the human clashing of like somebody wants to kill other people, and those people happen to have some mental illnesses. But the main conflict is like, how do we get away from Alex? And that's something that will get addressed. And I think like the Slender Man will get more. It'll get addressed more than I think a series would normally do. But I'm sure I had something else to say, but I've kind of lost it.
Right, it might come to you. You had 2 beers, yeah. It evades you. It does get harder to exemplify something. Let me just give a bit more of the background. It's so dark. It makes this room look so much darker than it actually is.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I feel like we're filming Blair Witch now. We're not though. We're not actually.
We're doing a behind the scenes feature of like some Hollywood movie. Like we're on the set of a Marvel movie, which is just green screen.
I was just curious about how that looks. That's cool. So obviously we're going to catch up with chat, but we do have another question because you mentioned 67.5 or 68.
Yeah,
both are good stopping points.
Yeah.
Do we let the audience decide that?
We can. Like I would back at this point. I would actually vouch for going for 68. But yeah, we can let the audience decide.
So we're going to catch up with chat, but we're also going to let you decide whether we're going to watch entry 68 tonight, or we're going to save that for next week. But we're going to catch up with chat right while you guys decide. Let's see. Oh god. Oh my goodness. Entirely final clued on. Explains basically an extension of the Slend. Slend is great. Love making dumb nicknames. What happened after Alex walked up to him at the end of season 2?
She addressed that in a further comment.
Alright, yep. BP's back saying hi. Never mind, just my question. Yep. Problem with that is it's already been put online. BP says, I'm having a bad day. I'm so sorry you're having a bad day, BP. Never fun. Never fun. But hey, we're glad you're here. Super excited. You know, multiple people would have downloaded just in case being taken down, so at this point it's out of their hands, kind of about the information control, isn't it? Perhaps. And here comes Ross with his classic pee-pee poo. He loves to pretend that it's his younger sibling doing these things, but I think we all know better. Classic Ross coming in with pee-pee poos. It's quite funny. You're the audience, are you? Wow, you're so on it. I'm so proud of you. Hope your day gets better, BP. Damn right. Let's spread the good stuff here. Don't hurt you like that. Well, nobody's hurting nobody. Nobody's hurting nobody, alright? I've given you guys the option. It's alright. I'm catching up with chat. Bear with me. Wish I'm late. Yeah, we're finishing up now. Well, we haven't decided yet. Glad we cut you. Almost cut my thumb off. Wow, that's not a good... I mean, that's a good excuse to be late. But, you know, I hope you didn't cut your thumb off. Obviously not because of this situation. You had your own situation. I'm so sorry to hear that. That really sucks. Are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital? Like what level of cut your thumb off are we talking? Like scraping a bit of skin off, or like, holy cow, I've cut a bone? Kind of like, what level are we talking here? There's a big difference. Glad to see you're alive too. Well, thank you. Thank you. Not dead. Probably won't die for a long time. The effect is emphasized because it's 3:45 p.m. for me, and sunset isn't until like 7:15. Oh yeah, no, it makes a big difference. It does get dark here. Well, I mean later now because summertime. I mean, I think like 7 o'clock is when our sun really starts getting. In some days, our sun won't go down to like 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's incredible. But we're still early. We're still in spring.
Yeah, we're still in spring. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock is usually now. But it's nice. We get a lot of sunshine. Can be sucky for a while sometimes. Sometimes a bit too hot. We don't have air conditioning. It does happen. A lot of English buildings,
Yeah.
It's very normal.
I do not miss this room.
It's me in the audience. Love you guys' analysis perspectives. Thank you, Katniss. Thank you very much. We do our best to bring a level of intelligence. I mean, granted, it's mainly rambling, but sometimes there's some pretty smart fucking stuff in there. How long is 68? That's a great question. Let's see. Everybody wants to see it. Everyone wants to see it. Tim is going through it. He sure is having a time like always. Hurt yourself by cutting the tip of your thumb off. That does suck. That's right. Did you bandage yourself up? You bandaged yourself. You just didn't go far enough for it to be an actual emergency. You can't spell. I'm glad you're okay, though. In the winter, it would already be dark here, but once we cross the threshold into spring, the sun is back. Too right. Mostly your nail, not your finger itself. So first it was you cut your thumb off, and it's getting like less and less problematic. So now it sounds like you said you cut your nail off, not even your thumb, not even your skin. Very different things. I'm glad you're okay, but did you even cut your thumb at all? Shenanigans, my friend. Press X to doubt. Fucking LA Noire reference right there. It was mostly your nail. Understandable. Can't type with nothing going on with your finger and nail both. It hurt. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ross. Well, you know what? You're doing okay. You bandaged it up. Get somebody to kiss your boo-boos. You'll be all right, buddy. We're proud of you. Proud of you for making it. Please be careful of thumb. Absolutely. So I think the consensus is to watch Entry 68.
Okay.
I think that's what we're going to do.
I think it's only like 4 minutes as well.
Oh, well, then there's no reason not to. If it was like 14 minutes, yeah, it would have been tougher, but...
Yeah.
No, 4 minutes, let's fucking do it. Let's freaking do it. Oh, Joe X has already gone. Cool.
I maybe... Okay, this one was 4 minutes.
Let's see. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're in.
68. About an hour ago, the following video was uploaded by someone other than me. Added to the arc.
Yeah. Loves to do that.
That was 68.
Oh. Use their water bottle.
Where are Jay and Tim? Wipe that stupid smile off your face. You can run all you want, but I will find
You will not.
Huh.
Nuh-uh.
Owned his ass.
You are afraid. I am not. You are trapped. Yeah. Oh, there's a bit more.
Oh my
Apparently.
god.
Alex doesn't know where Tim and I have gone, and I plan on keeping it that way for as long as possible. Yeah, like this intro was fine to do because it doesn't advance the story, but it
Yeah.
shows us to the arc's angle.
But it's like an extra little tidbit of the cliffhanger. The fact
Yeah.
that it's like it proves they are being pursued,
Yeah,
and I think that's cool because you're right. It doesn't tell too much extra besides it just emphasizes, hey, we think we're being pursued. You are.
yeah.
But can I call shenanigans?
What?
So this entry's supposed. Oh no. I think it's the story he addressed it. I might be calling shenanigans on the thing. Hang on. Yeah. So he mentions how an hour ago a different video was uploaded by him, and so
Yeah.
he's basically taken that footage, popped it
Yeah.
in this entry. Okay, no, that's fine. I thought he just put this at the end,
Oh,
and I'm sitting there like, well, that wouldn't make sense because this is to the Ark's entry, but no, he's taken to the Ark's entry and he's added on to it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
And in real time, as they were posting this, they did actually post the original video first and then take it down and put up the entry version.
Well, that's cool. I like that. That's extra.
I love it. Like I love that To the Arc puts 68 at the front of it because he really thinks he's one of the protagonists.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is entry number 68. I'm putting it up on the main channel because it's this is relevant to the main story, not a regular To the Arc entry. So it's like thanks, buddy. I mean, we will make it entry 68, but thank you.
So, one of the things I had said in a previous stream is like I like to look at Jay and To the Arc are like they're competing narrators. Like Tim's the protagonist, but Jay and To the Arc are the narrators of the story. And it's kind of always been this way, but it kind of building. This is like a clear example of like To the Arc trying to be a narrator as well.
Yeah, that's quite right. It's still so. Let's play the fun guessing game again. Who is To the Arc?
Well, whoever he is, he took off his hood in this one, and Alex saw him without his hood.
Well,
And he
I
didn't
think
bat him up.
I think Alex made him take the hood off, right? Like he attacked him and probably pulled it off himself in the scuffle, right?
We saw as he went to have a drink of water, he sat in the bed and it took his hood off and put it on his knee.
Oh, yeah.
He did grab his hood as if he was going to put it back on, but we didn't see him do that.
But then he got attacked and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so that would certainly explain. That would certainly explain why he's like, wipe that stupid grin off your face, like.
I think this entry is generally considered like the biggest cock block of the entire series because of how close we get to seeing Hoodie's face, but they keep it off the camera just slightly all the time.
Quite right. Okay, there's a lot of chat. A fair amount of it is about the entry, just kind of commenting on the entry as it goes. So I might not read all that.
It's Alan Tudyk.
It's an awful lot of Ross. Love you, buddy, but it's a lot of things I'd have to say and like spell I am it's me. Like I feel like it'd take me ages. Okay, so Ross thinks he's hoodie. Okay, so that's one vote for him. Owo says it's him, so that's one for Owo. Owo also says it's me, so that's one for me. Ross says it's us. Lazy says it's you. Ross also says it's William Afton. That's a good guess. Ross says it's them. I'm okay. Ross, you got a lot of guesses here. You got to pick one, buddy. Alan Tutorial. Very funny. Very funny, Ellie. It's me, it's you, it's us. Bly Manor, you will never be dead to me. Great show. Haunting of Bly Manor. I'm not sure if mine is a guess or remembering, so I'm a refrain. Fair, fair. Ah, it's Jordan. Fucking cracked it. Don't know if you have any hoodies, though. But you might not have any more because you can't wear them anymore.
Maybe.
Because it's too obvious, then.
Maybe. I don't own a single hoodie.
I think you've cracked it. You've cracked it. It's got to be him. Because you don't even have a hoodie. It must be him. So suspicious. The level of dedication from Ross. Cut the tip of his thumb, but didn't leave Nate alive. That's true. Well, yeah, he cut the very tip, mostly his nail. Remember this, the detail. He got rid of the evidence. Of course he did. That's why he doesn't have any hoodies, because it would tell everybody that he is hoodie. I totally get it. That's why I wear a bunch of hoodies, because I'm not hoodie. That would be weird then, right? That's why I'm Alex. It makes so much more sense. I'm not allowed to be Tim anymore because I don't have sideburns. That's why, and I also don't smoke. So, I own a lot of hoodies, but none like that. Same chaos. I have a lot of like black hoodies, but that's just weirdly. I've got an orange one as well, though. To be fair, it's a little closer in color, not quite the same. So, clearly not a lot of serious guesses. That's fine.
No.
How much more is there
of the show?
Yeah, the show.
Well,
obviously we can't finish it tonight. I'm not saying
Oh.
that, but like in your opinion, if you had to rough guess it, like 2 hours,
2 more streams.
2 more streams. Okay. So maybe 2 to 3 hours. Okay.
We're over. I think we're over halfway through the season, but actually, I don't actually remember exactly.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's fine by me.
I would reckon 2 more streams.
That's cool with me. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with this Friday setup we got. We can keep doing it like this. It's been quite nice and fun. We're not wrapping up right away. We're obviously gonna do our chats for like 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap up. But just letting you guys know. But yeah, I like the Friday format. I think it's always quite good. It's nice. It's a good way to wrap up the week. It allows everybody to kind of unwind, have a little bit of fun while we all dissect Marble Hornets at the moment. And then what was the next one? Everyman Hybrid. I think we're gonna jump to next, or was it? Yeah, I think that was the next one requested. Yeah, because you didn't like it so much, and it's very different. You also didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I think I finished it, but if I'm honest with you, I don't remember how a lot of it went, because it does get a bit silly. But we'll definitely do that next. I think that's the next one after Marble Hornets. But at the same time, if you guys want the comic, or comics, I think it's more than one, right?
Well, 5 issues. The last one hasn't come out yet.
Okay. And if you want those, then the question becomes, do we have that be a live stream reading kind of a situation? Or do you want that to be more like a recorded video thing like I do with my other stories, like Twitter stories and stuff like that? Because we could do that. I'm trying to figure out what the best format would be for that. And I feel like if we wanted to be more serious and dedicated, that would probably be the way to go. But we'll see. We'll leave it up to the people, I would say. I feel like it would make more sense in a recorded format, though. I think that would be a little bit more appropriate, so it keeps you in the mood and the essence of the situation. And then after the comics, we'll probably end up doing a more serious timeline recorded discussion video where we really explain what's going on, because I feel like a lot of it gets lost in translation. I feel like a lot of it kind of needs to be in a more serious video, because the thing about live streams is it's far easier to be kooky, right? And less serious, which is nice. It's good to be a little bit chill. It's more like you're hanging out with friends and shit, right? And that's what I kind of wanted to be at the end of the day. I wanted to feel like it's a comfortable environment for everybody to have a good time. And just that, have a good time. So yeah, that might be the way forward with that. That makes a lot of sense in my head. I like our Fridays. Let's see. Can't get, oh my god, there's still so much more chat. Here we go. Smoking is bad, of course it is, but it's I also understand that people smoke. Tim's just smoking those candy cigarettes is fine. He's lighting candy cigarettes on fire. Totally fine. Let's see. Tim's going through a lot. Probably self-medicating some. Absolutely gets past. I like our Fridays. I agree. I like our Fridays too. Right. No idea who he is. Haven't finished it. Gets off the rails and silly, but hey. Chaos says, I've finished it multiple times, Everyman Hybrid, but only remember bits and pieces. Yeah, I totally, I think I'm the same. I don't remember every single thing. I remember certain entities in it. I remember some of the storylines, but it does feel a bit much. Love silliness. Yeah, as much as I love live stream video, makes more sense. Yeah, video does make more sense. I think for the comic might be good for recorded format. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Focus on the format, the art, and panels and stuff while narrating. Yeah, I think I could turn it really good. I think I could watch it chilling. Yeah. Don't be sorry. I'm glad you guys love talking. It's just for me to catch up. The problem is if we're talking and then you guys talk as well, I have to just make sure I'm not missing anything too relevant, because sometimes you guys say really, really good stuff and really relevant information, and sometimes just gobbledygook nonsense. So I have to just filter through whatever could be important. That's all. So you're more than welcome to talk. I put it up on the screen as well. It's just I've got it on 3 different areas. It's just hard to read it while we're also talking. That's all. So yeah, that's right. We're all here to have a good little time. That's the point. No spoilers. I might be very unserious, but you still are following the series most you can. Of course, Ross. Of course. No worries. You're allowed to be here and have fun. There's no issue with that. No issue with that at all. We're glad you're here, having a good time. That's the fucking point. That's the fucking point. Let's see. To get back on Marble Hornets conversation. So I think if we want to kind of summarize what's happened, Tim has done a lot of revealing of his past and his situation. We have had the confirmation that Slenderman has been fucking with him for far longer than even beyond the video project of Marble Hornets.
Yep.
Which is interesting. Because before this, we were led to believe that Slenderman first started fucking with Alex. Which we've learned on the set of Marble Hornets, that's true. But he probably only started fucking with Alex because he was associated with Tim.
Yeah.
And in the same, obviously, general area where Tim was living and stuff, which is probably why Slenderman was able to keep tabs on him and everything. And then Alex caught him on camera accidentally, and that started the whole thing spiraling with the Marble Hornet situation. But I do think Tim was originally meant to be the actual first proxy. But it just never fully took because, yet again, Tim was seeking help. Tim was in the hospital. Tim was having levels of medication. He was having things to help him combat the problem. Alex obviously did not. So eventually, Slenderman realizing this when he had better control over Alex, changed gears. He still fucks with Tim when he has to, but it seems more like if Tim doesn't fuck with him, Slenderman doesn't fuck with him either, right? But because Tim is now getting more actively involved because of the Jay situation, that's what's caused all this stuff to happen. Have Tim go through more horrific trauma that we're aware of, thanks to the chest cam. It's great. It's such great storytelling, isn't it? There's so many. I love the fact that you might question, what about this character? What about that character? What was going on there? And you'll get a little snippet of their fucking story in one of the end. It's so good. You'll see all these different little POVs. It's so well done. And so, some of them, it's not just like, oh, I got up and had some toast and I was being very paranoid in my room. Shit happens usually. It's incredible. It really, really is incredible. The more I continue to watch this, the more I'm reminded of the fact that it's so good, and I can see why it continue to pave the way for future endeavors of other people coming up with their own Slenderman projects, and then even beyond that, different analog horror creature stories and everything. And it's amazing. It's so amazing that this continued to. I suppose you could say Blair Witch did that ages ago as well, but I mean, let's be real. Blair Witch was iffy at best, and it was also the story of 2 guys killing a woman in the woods.
Yeah.
But whatever. Let's not get into semantics. There could have been a witch. The video game there was a witch, but whatever. I guess was there really a Blair Witch? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? I don't think there really was. I think it was all a scam. But you know, I'll tell you another really interesting. It's not found footage, but it is recorded like it's found footage. It's called Creep. Creep is a cool film. It's a really weird film. Really fucking weird film. But it's really good. It's so I don't want to say anything else about it. Okay, so a guy, he's a videographer, and he gets a gig to record a guy who's like on his last couple of months of life, and his job is to just record his last couple of months of living his life and stuff. And it's a scam, by the way. He's not actually dying, but he's just a fucking strange person. And it's so interesting the stuff he catches. I mean, this is obviously a fictional story movie, but you know, it's all told from the perspective of the cameraman. It's so good. It's so good and interesting. Yeah, look at that. I had a funny feeling you guys would have known about Creep. It's so did you see the sequel as well? Fucking weird, man. I mean, the second one wasn't as good, but the first one was tubby time. That gets me fucking every time. That's just me. Or VHS. That's another great little weird horror anthology series, which I think has like 2 sequels. I haven't seen those though. I didn't know they had sequels, but I'll have to watch those. Great, really good. Let's see. Real of these entries. So many layers. Storytelling and very POV makes it nice and engaging. Really just love how you don't know what's going to happen, and not because of the supernatural even. It's the people who are the most unpredictable. Well, like you were saying, you know, you could take Slenderman out of the entire equation, and it's still a fucking great story. It's the mystery and horror of the human element. You never know what humanity could do with any kind of a situation. It's very true. I mean, you know, you hope they wouldn't do these kind of horrific things, but you know, putting in a supernatural entity does make it a little more digestible, right? Because if it was just humans doing this kind of fuck around, you're like, yeah, this isn't, you know, it's still interesting, but it makes you be like, I'm a little more worried about people now. Great, you seen it? Lady didn't get killed. She runs a weed farm now.
Blair Witch. I don't know what she's talking
about. Okay, some context. Oh no, you're talking about the lady from the film, right? Okay. Lady who died in the film. Yeah, I get you. She didn't get killed. Oh, I see. You're coming up with an alternate theory. She died though. She died, Ellie. She died in the movie. I'm sorry. I mean, obviously not the actress, but you know, she's dead in the movie. You know, you can't hide that. You can't hide that. Creep is also good. Stupid ass and red MH is Monster Hunter. Dude, I understand. I saw MH and I also thought Monster Hunter, but I was like, no, Marble Hornets. I can't say Monster Hunter because that would be weird. But I'm glad I'm not the only one. Monster Hunter Wilds. Great game. Absolutely fair and relatable. Gotta see that. Creep 2 gets super wild and agree. The first is better, but second is second is good. The second is good. It's but it makes me. It reminds me of You, that show You, and how I think like in season 2 or season 3, I don't remember, where there's like the girlfriend in the equation. It's similar kind of semantics, right? Where you're like, did this really need to happen? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still good, but like, okay. One brain cell and it's shaped like a feline. Dang, that's what I'm talking about. 2 brain cells and they're shaped as poop and pee. Classic Ross. Lazy. Fuckaroundery is my new favorite word. I can't help it, alright? I have a very interesting vocabulary. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's really fucking stupid. I'm basically an orange cat in a human body. Lamau, says Chaos Smith. Garfield. That's, I mean, you know, a very specific orange cat. More like Merlin, I would say. Just like the somewhat simple brain, and you're like, what the fuck is this cat doing?
Yeah.
But Merlin was a good boy.
They don't know Merlin.
No, of course. A good boy. He was a good, somewhat fat boy sometimes. I don't know if that's actually what you said, but thank you for putting it in your head regardless. I was talking about the actress from Blair Witch. Yes, I thought so. She died, though. I can't help it, all right? I have to, you know, telling you facts. She definitely died. Not to ruin your fun, but she's dead. Yeah, I'm glad we're all just saying it now. But she did die though. She did die. When you actually like really rewatch Blair Witch, and you take out the supernatural element of the Blair Witch, it's just two guys who end up killing a woman in the woods and covering it up.
Yeah.
That's what it is if you take out the supernatural element. And it's terrible to say. But at the same time, did they catch any real supernatural stuff in Blair Witch? No, they fucking didn't, which is really a shame, because it would have been far more interesting if there was.
At most, there was a frame of a guy facing the corner of a room. Yeah. That's not supernatural.
No, that's just a dude being fucking strange. Which, quite frankly, dudes are strange.
Yeah.
But most dudes, not all dudes. Some dudes are like deranged. That's a different problem, alright? Strange is fine. Deranged, that's no good. Can't have that. Let's see. Also, you're a champ for taking the time to read out every message. Streamers rarely do that. I'm just doing my best to keep up with you guys, because sometimes, like I said, you have interesting things to say, and sometimes it's gobbledygook. So I try to filter certain things. But you're here for us, and we're here for you. It's a fair exchange, if you ask me. That's the point of a live stream, right? It's a open street for communication. I think it's great for that. One of them got made into skin and teeth and blood, though. You mean one of the dudes?
Probably.
It's a fair point. Still wouldn't call that supernatural, though.
Yeah.
People can just do that. Still not technically supernatural. Now, if they just exploded into that, then that is supernatural. I don't know a human that can just explode. Spontaneous combustion? Maybe. But that didn't happen either. So, at least not in Blair Witch. Let's see. Sounds like good fun, actually. Ross, are you okay? After you cut your thumb, you've just been a different person. I'm really concerned for you, man. Really, really concerned for you. Technically your thumbnail, but whatever, We'll have both check out, honestly. There's 9 people here, not 100,000. I mean, that's true. It does make it easier to talk to only 9 people. That's very true. 100,000, that would be, yes. I'd have to completely change the chat format if we had far too many. Literally, friends hang out watch. Exactly. They probably were not planning a murder if they themselves got murdered.
Did we see them get murdered?
I don't think so. Technically, we didn't see any of them get murdered.
Yeah.
We just are aware that the lady didn't come back. I think one of the dudes as well. I think one dude got out. But I could be wrong, because yet again, it's found footage, right?
And it has been a while since I've seen it. I don't remember. There was text at the beginning of the movie giving the context for the tape, but I don't remember what the context was.
Yeah. Which is nice. Or they were, and the victim Uno reverse carded. That'd be clever. I like that.
So I've got to check out soon. So I need to. I'm getting tired now. I want to have a cigarette.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We've gone for 3 hours 15. I think we've done a very good job. None of them came back. The framing is the students vanished, and the tape was found years later. Yeah, okay. So none of them came back. Still no proof of supernatural.
Maybe they all got a weed farm.
Maybe they all got a weed farm. In which case, they all went to Murder Mountain. By the way, people died there as well on a weed mountain, but whatever. Anyway, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Marble Hornets Season 3, Part 2. We've still got maybe 2 more streams to go. Incredible.
Yeah, I reckon so.
This has been fantastic fun, everybody. This has been fantastic fun. Weed farm for everyone. We really hope that you've had fun with us, because we've certainly had a great time. It's been awesome. We're looking forward to next week for more discussions, more of the watching. Oh, God. Yeah, I definitely could eat a bit more food now. That's true. This has been super, super fun. We really hope you've enjoyed. And we will see you next week. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We love you.